The leader of the Booner Path. I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the f*** up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juices pumping, boys.
Welcome to Crunch Time Sports with Jeff, Booner, and Lukas. It is Friday, June 13th on a Friday show. We are back, man. It's good to be here. Fired up. We got some things to get to today. NFL.com spewing some stuff. Darkhorse MVP candidate on the Lions. They rank top 10 offenses. Where do the Lions land in that going into next season? And we're also doing something new today, boys.
What's that?
We're giving out our top 5 favorite sports moments later in the show. It's off season. That means we get into these type of discussions, and I'm kind of fired up about it. It's subjective. It's your personal experiences. And I can't wait for people to see my list. I already know it's going to go down with that. But I'm fired up, man.
Can I be honest? When I did my
topics,
it is. It's like a fun Friday. It's a good Friday show. When I did my
Caleb
list,
joining.
Caleb's joining at 9:15. We're just going to chat it up about some Detroit Tigers stuff. The top 5, we were supposed to do top 5 Thursdays. We completely just let that fly over. Just completely forgot about it. So we'll do it today. I was thinking about my top 5 sports moments in my life. It does make me think a little bit. Hey, I am very excited for the future of Detroit because I haven't had that many sports moments where, in my, I would say personally, I like to think about sports moments like when I'm able to fully comprehend the whole situation, like my teens and high or in adult life. As a kid, I remember, and I have some when I was a kid, but I want more moments. After the top 3 I have is all in the last couple of years. I want more of those moments, like bad. It's like a drug. Like you get addicted, you're like, you want more.
That can't believe I'm forgetting the word. Not even try to continue with the sentence. I know what you mean, though, Boone. After winning the Natty this year as an Ohio State fan, wasn't the first time in my life that I experienced it. So wasn't.
You're not a fan of national championships, though, so it's just a little different.
Not a fan of national championships.
This is a rumor mill, man. That's all.
No, we love national championships.
Mm-hmm.
We got more of them than Michigan.
Yeah,
had 3 of them in my lifetime. One of them was
where
I was still in diapers when we're beating the U and the best college football team of all time, arguably.
It was getting
up 2 more in the last 10 years.
It was getting a little dry, and then you came back. Now you can,
It's a cycle. It's a cycle.
Yeah, it's all right. You're losing faith in Ryan Day, but you still have lost faith, but he still got you a national championship. Huh?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I can still dislike Ryan Day all I want. He can always, and his fan base can shut me up for the rest of the time now, saying that they won a national championship. Still don't love the guy.
Right.
He won a natty.
Let me show you something, guys. All right, let me show you something. I want to give love to this person. We had him on the show a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
It was announced the UFL.
Here we go.
That our guy, Bryce Perkins, has won MVP.
Come on.
Officially. Has won MVP, and to be honest, well deserved. Number 1.
Yep.
Number 2, this has to put him in the conversation with returning back to the NFL. You win MVP. I don't care what league it is. That could get you some. Hey, that could get you some looks. I'm just saying.
I would think that there's some teams out there that are looking at Bryce Perkins going, and you guys already know how I feel about this. Jeff, when we were at the game, I looked at you and said, this guy's playing like Josh Allen out there. I mean, I've never seen something like this outside of Josh Allen. So I would think that there's going to be a team that looks at it. I did ask him the question, hey, have you had conversations with Detroit? Obviously, he couldn't say anything at the time, but bring that man, let that man compete in Allen Park this offseason. And training camp. Let him go in there and compete a little bit. Let's see what he's got. See what the man's got.
I'll tell you this much. If you're the Tennessee Titans and you got Cam Ward starting and you go down that depth chart and you stumble across the name of Tim Boyle's on our roster, you call up Bryce Perkins, you give Tim Boyle.
The great Will Levis.
Well, Will Levis, we're not even talking about Will Levis. We're talking about Bryce Perkins. He's going to have to earn that keep. MVP, great, but he's not just going to get a second-string job. Tim Boyle, I don't know how that man continues to stay alive in the NFL. He's like a cockroach. But throw Bryce Perkins in there. Got Cam Ward, you got Will Levis, got Bryce Perk. It's a solid quarterback room.
Call that man a cockroach. You just
can't kill him. Boone talked about it one day.
I actually no, I do. I respect it. If you could stay in the NFL for that long, I respect it. Even if it's Tim Boyle, who has more picks than TDs in college, which I mean he's better than what I did. But still, it is kind of crazy that Tim Boyle started games with the Lions. I don't even want to think about that. That's a whole nother thing to get into. But like I said, there's some Lions things I do want to get to. One of those things kind of revisit something yesterday, and we discussed it, but we didn't hear why people thought the way they did. And the reason why people yesterday in our comments were skeptical of Za'Darius Smith will be returning or not is because of how this question came off. And we didn't hear Chris's part of it. So I want to replay it, just his part, and you can hear Brad's response. But the reason why this is where people got the maybe Za'Darius is not coming back vibe. So this is because of how Brad answered the question. So I'm going to play the clip and then we'll kind of give our thoughts on it because we missed it yesterday, but here it is.
And I read something this morning about Big Z possibly coming back. I thought that was one of the most impactful signings of the year on any team.
Yeah.
Talk about pulling a rabbit out of your hat. I love his game, and it showed up in Detroit. So what's it look like out on the edge?
Yeah, so Aiden looks great, man. He's been out there in OTAs. Really didn't expect anything else. You never truly know because you don't have a crystal ball, but just knowing how that guy's wired and how he attacks things and how in tune he is with his body. It did not surprise me. I mean, he's out there. He looks explosive. He's changing direction. I mean, he looks really good, man. And then we brought back Marcus Davenport on a one-year deal. He was playing really good football for us before he unfortunately got hurt, man. And so hopefully he gets better luck on his side. And so and he's been out there, and I would say all
right. I don't need to play the rest of the clip, but you see how we completely disregarded it.
Davenport hype.
Did we not talk about this yesterday?
We did, but to hear it, like I think the Brad really did pump up this D line, and I know he believes it, obviously, but I do think there is a scenario, and maybe I'm leaning not fully towards it, but I'm opening my mind up to the possibility that Brad might just look at this D line and be like, "We don't need Za'Darius. We don't need to spend that money." I'm serious. I think that's a possibility.
There's zero chance, bro.
Zero that Brad looks at this D line and goes, "We don't need him. We're good." Seriously. I don't. He loves this D line. He loves it. I don't know.
Why did you look so sad? You looked so.
I don't believe it.
I mean, that's fine. That's fine. It's just the vibe I'm getting from kind of just, I guess, the offseason. And I know Za'Darius said soon, but is he saying that because it's like, oh, we're still working it out, or is it because they have a deal on the table? Because if they're working it out, it doesn't mean it's going to go automatically to working out. Maybe they just stalemate, and Brad's like, you know what? I like what we got.
Run it back with Dav. The
Big Dav.
The production.
He obviously does love Marcus Davenport. Like that, I won't argue with. And that's just such a weird, like, love relationship that they got going on there with Marcus. Like to put all of your eggs in one basket.
Brad's like art. Like Brad probably just couldn't stay healthy, but was really good and had a lot left in the tank. Maybe he sees himself in Davenport.
I don't think, too. That's an unbelievable statement from Klotz. I mean, I don't even know. That's unreal. I don't think, though, at the end of the day, and I know a lot of people, I saw people on Twitter, I saw Easy tweet out, like, there's Za'Darius, he doesn't want Za'Darius, like, it's over. I think that's an overreaction. I really do. I don't think that, I don't know. I don't see a world where.
You don't see a world.
Dude, he can't just go on the Chris Long podcast and be like, yes, he's signing with us. He can't comment on it.
You can at least be like, last year he helped us a lot. You know what I mean? Like, he talk about his.
He was just trying to hype up the guys currently in that room. I think people are overlooking this. I think you're just digging too deep into it. Let the offseason play out. Let it play out.
Then again, actually, now they think about it, I guess it is fair because if he starts glazing Za'Darius, then I guess leverage does slide more to Za'Darius. So I guess that does make sense. If he was like Za'Darius was so important to us last year, it's like you're basically just you're giving him more. You're giving him more leverage. But it's just I don't know. I think there is a scenario where Brad.
I think there is a scenario. And I do think that the Za'Darius comments this week do make me more confident that it happens. But I think there is absolutely a chance that they can't get – maybe Za'Darius is locked in for 2 years. And he's like, I want 2 years. I want one more than just 1 year. I want to play for 2 more years. And Brad's saying, no, around here, free agent deals, we give you a 1-year deal. And
you get one.
And you get one. And then if you're good enough, guess what you get after? Another 1-year deal, but maybe
they should just do an opt-out. Why not just have an opt-out after year 1?
But maybe that's what they're trying to figure out right now. And maybe it just.
But if you're Za'Darius, do you want an opt-out in year 1 or after year 1? Possibility you can get cut.
No, but if that's what it is, if you want to be in Detroit like he says he does, he obviously is like, I want to be in Detroit. If that's true and that's real, you would be like, okay, we'll do an opt-out. And I want guaranteed money, though. So if you do opt out, you still got to pay. You know what I mean? I think there's ways. Hey, let's meet in the middle here, Brad. Let's not. You don't get it all. Let's meet in the middle, Brad. And if I'm Brad, Za'Darius, let's meet in the middle now. Come on now.
Like most of the money's in year 1 or something.
Let's help each other win a Super Bowl and let's do it a fair way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. I still think he resigns, but.
So what are you over here trying to? What type of narrative are you trying to start up over there, Fabio?
I'm not trying to pump the narrative. I think it's just a feeling I'm slowly kind of getting a little bit where it's like I'm losing a little less confidence as the days go on. I think,
dude, that's just because that's just human. That's human nature.
Like someone look at T said. Hold on, let me see what T said. He said. Let me find his comment. It was basically like Aaron Rodgers signed before Za'Darius.
Yeah, but that's your quarterback, dude. That's so different.
You still have.
There's still. Hold on. Time out. Matthew Judon still hasn't signed. Jadeveon Clowney hasn't signed. Like, these are edges. There are a lot of players who are still sitting out there that have not signed. Who's the safety? What's his name? From the Falcons.
Justin Simmons.
Wait, Justin Simmons. I think it actually is. I'm thinking of. He still hasn't signed. Like, there are big time players who are just sitting at home. Like, I'm just gonna wait. I'm not in a rush to sign. I still want to be like. There are a lot of guys out there. This is a normal thing in the offseason, Jeff. I don't think if you're gonna be like every day I wake up and I'm just even more like worried and it just keeps building up, dude. We need to teach you some patience, man. You've been running a lot, man. We need to get you in yoga and just breathe a little bit. By the way, can I ask you guys this? And if this is for the chat too, what do you guys think about a 24-hour fast? I was thinking about doing it. Is that good or bad?
I mean, it's great for you. My thing is, after about 3 hours of not eating, I get nauseous. I get really fucking angry, and I'll feel like crap. I have no desire to ever fast in my life.
See, I want to try.
I'll do pretty much everything but fast.
My cousin. Some people are saying, "Hey, it's not good for you, dude. Hey, you don't do it." And then I have other people saying, "Hey, it's good for you." And I'm sitting here. I'm like, I want to try it so bad. I want to see what it does. I do.
I would, from what I haven't heard anything. I know a couple of people who have fast/do fast, and I haven't heard a bad thing. It's the number one way for your body to, like, if there's a cancer cell going on, like, that's the best way to go after it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm interested. I might do it this Monday. I might get some electrolytes at the store and just have water with some electrolytes in it and just go 24 hours. See how this works here.
Good luck. I'd be throwing up.
That was off topic. I might throw up. I don't know. Who knows?
I'd send you that video. Kevin James, dude, he fasted for
42 hours or 42 days. I mean,
yeah, a lot of days, man. But
Dana does it for like 5 days.
Your body can survive longer without food than it can without water. So these guys can fast for a long time, but they are hydrated, electrolytes. It's crazy. I mean, I wouldn't do that. But like 24 hours. I mean, Dana White did 3 days and lost like a bunch of weight.
I just heard someone say that they do once a week. They do a 24-hour fast and they've lost weight. They feel healthier. They feel more energized. Everything about them feels good. And I was like, I think I texted you, Jeff. I said, is this a real thing? And then I started reading about it, researching. I went, I might try this.
Yeah, try. The worst that happens is you're like, no, fuck this. I'm never doing this again. But
yeah, but they do it like the people that I saw do it. It's actually a dude at Barstool who does it, and then a couple other people were doing it, and they like lost a lot of weight. They looked good. They look like I feel the healthiest I've ever felt. And I was like, man, I wonder if that. I know obviously that's not like the only thing that you have to do. Like I would like work out and do different things, but like that feels like
it's a good first step for sure.
Oh, it's
yeah. Get my body just like back at level 1 or close to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a mental thing too to build your discipline. Because that's my thing. Mentally, that's where I just can't do it.
We need to get you disciplined.
I don't like it. I don't like the fact of not eating. I love food.
I do too. That's my problem. That's why I'm the size I am.
People talking about the carnivore diet. I mean, the people that do the carnivore diet, those people, especially. You get shredded.
I just need something else. I need like a contrast with food. I just can't be eating. Let me phrase this properly.
Yeah,
high amounts of protein in the form of.
No, you could eat.
Steak,
I know you,
chicken, pork chop.
You could eat meat all day. You could eat.
I think isn't carnivore just red meat?
I prefer like I fucking love broccoli salad. I've been loading up on broccoli salad.
That's good
like
for you.
A
Though.
ribeye
That's like
with
a good
broccoli salad, some potatoes. Oh my god.
I have been doing like the normal fast. I eat before the show and I don't eat until noon tomorrow. I've done that for 4 straight days right now. I'm on day 4 or 5 of it.
Hey, Jason, he said if losing weight was as easy as fasting, we would all be skinny.
That's fair, Jason. I have been doing the intermediate fasting. I just don't eat till noon the next day. I probably will break it tomorrow because I'm going golfing in the morning. So I like
you gotta, yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably get a glizzy on the turn or something.
Gotta stop at Speedway.
It's a 7:30 a.m. tee time, so I'm gonna have a 9 a.m. glizzy.
No, right on the course,
bro. We went
on the course. Yeah.
Was it Nashville? I think it was. We stopped at Speedway at like 7:30. Boone comes out with those like taquito things from Speedway. It's like jalapeno cream cheese or something like that. I'm like,
dude, we stopped at a Love's. Did I ever tell the story on here of us on the way to Nashville running into my family? Did you?
Oh, that was insane.
Dude, I could do. We need to get okay. Like, we could get back into things. I'll tell the story later. I don't know if we're off. We seem pretty off track.
Right now. We'll get back.
Jeff's over there panicking. We got topics.
No, I'm not panicking. I'm not panicking.
That was one of the craziest moments and stories I think I've ever had in my life. That was nuts.
I mean, we talk sports for 10 hours a week. Yeah, so it's like. If there's 5 minutes of life talk, I don't think it's the end of the world. But hey, NFL.com ranked the top 10 offenses going into 2025. I do want to show you guys this list. Let's see this, and we'll agree or disagree with some of these rankings. So, starting at 10, top 10 offenses. Starting at 10, we have the Kansas City Chiefs at 10. They think they'll still be top 10, which honestly. I think the Chiefs' offense, the offensive line's a big question mark, but they got a lot of weapons, man.
Yeah, it comes down to Rashee Rice's suspension, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, too. Like, Chiefs should be way higher than this if they have Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, and Xavier Worthy, and Travis Kelce. I think Travis Kelce has a little bit of a bounce back year. I think last year might have just been one of those years for everyone has those years. And then what's his name? Why am I blanking on the running back that they have? Don't they have 2 right now?
They have Pacheco and
Kareem Hunt. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, they have a 2-1. They have a great 1-2 punch. So I think they should be higher, to be honest.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to get mad over this, honestly. At 9, they have the Bengals. Top 10 offense again. Yeah, which. You could probably argue higher because they have to be. Because they don't have a defense.
I don't even know who their running back is.
Chase Brown. I was about to say Chase Brown.
That was a sarcastic statement.
Yeah, Klotzy's going to glaze him. I mean,
I don't think he's a top. Maybe argue outside the top 10.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I think for what the Bengals have to do on the offensive side of the football, they're not going to be able to run the ball that much. When they ask him to run, he's going to be 4 to 5 to carry. Give you a couple catches out of the backfield, probably have like 1,300 scrimmage yards. I don't think Bengals should be top 1, but I think the Bengals, quarterback, wide receiver again. That's probably the best 3-headed monster. Chase Brown's a top probably 12 running back. Their
No.
offensive line's decent. I think it's a top 5 to 6 offense.
We did our top 10 running backs, and we brought up guys that could be in the top 10. We talked about 3 or 4 of them. Like we probably got up to 14 running backs. There wasn't one iota of a conversation about Chase Brown. No one mentioned. We didn't tickle the conversation.
He's probably
I don't
top
think
15.
you can say it yet.
Top 16.
I don't think you can say it yet.
Yeah, so
Yeah, he's.
and then the old line questionable, like Orlando Brown, you see there, and Marius Mims. They have some dudes, but there's still always that question mark because Joe Burrow's constantly getting just destroyed. So I think top 10 is good. Yeah, I think that 3-headed monster is big, maybe a little higher, but I wouldn't even put him in the. I'd put him like 5th or 6th, maybe.
So I want to ask you guys. I want to ask you guys in the chat real quick before we move on. Where do you think the Lions are ranked? Because we've got through 10 and 9, Chiefs and Bengals. So where do you think we're going to find the Lions on this list? Top 10 offenses heading into next year. What's your guys' guess?
I'm gonna go 5th.
I would go top 4. They should be top 4. I'll go 3rd.
I'll go 7. I'll go 6. Actually, I'll give them a little more love. I'll go 6. All right, Jason. He says 4. Shift got 5 or 6. Bottom line, Lions should be around 5. They're going to be 8 because of comedic timing. All right. Well, you know what? Actually, that would be hilarious. Well, let's see. Number 8. Who is number 8? Oh, the Green Bay Packers.
It's weird.
See, like they should be behind the Bengals and the Chiefs.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
I mean, I would put the Bengals over the Packers. I would put the Bengals over the Packers. They're going to have to score a shit ton of points. And I don't know how you look at what Jordan Love did last year and think this dude's going to lead a top 8 offense. I mean, what were they last year? They probably were a little higher because Josh Jacobs and.
I don't know, man, because even that passing game, like it was just never.
Yeah, I guess you're right. He wasn't.
It's like a Madden offense where it looks like it'd be really good, but in reality, when you check in on them in week 10 in the third quarter, they have 10 points. Tucker Kraft's a nice little weapon they have at the tight end spot, but
if they had a true number 1 and maybe Matthew Golden can be that, I think they would be in this realm. If they had a dude they could go to. I don't know if they have that. Matthew Golden could be, but as of right now, I don't know. That's kind of a to be determined.
Yeah, I don't even know if I would have him top 10, to be honest.
I don't think I would either.
Yeah. I mean, even Shift Guy, they must really think
way.
Golden's going to be the second coming of OBJ. I mean, Klotz might agree with that statement.
No.
Okay.
I don't think he's OBJ. No.
All right. Just making sure.
At least
All
young
right.
OBJ. Dude was ridiculous.
Well, you have 8, so Lions are so far no Lions. Number 7 is the Eagles.
That's kind of low for the Eagles, to be honest. I thought they would be a little higher.
Yeah, I mean, guys, what are we doing? But you know what, though?
I'm interested to see who's in the top 5. It's hard to judge this until I see who's in the full top 5, if I'm being honest. Like to see the full list, to see who's ahead of them.
You know what, though? With this Eagles and Lions thing, they both have all new offensive coordinators. So I understand from that. I can't really make an argument for who they currently have. I think they hired a Dago. They hired an Italian dude, a quarterback coach. I think. Passing coordinator. That's who it was. So, but I don't know anything about him. Last time we saw a hire from within, it was Brian Johnson, and they were probably 10. So I don't know. You still have Saquon. You know, it's kind of like the Lions argument. You still have players.
They have a good offense. They have the best offensive line in the NFL. I'm not going to say. Yeah, I'm not going to say Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback, but he's top 10, top 12.
I would say
and then
top 5. They should be top 5.
Yeah, and you have AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, who's a good tight end, Saquon. This is way too low for them. Way too low.
I get that. I mean, JT Olsen says the Eagles were 7th in points last year, didn't add much, and they lost their offensive guard. Probably too high for Philly. Really?
I disagree.
Too high. I mean, again, I don't know much about the OC they got, but the personnel looks really good. I'll tell you that. Really good. All right.
Can we keep going? Because I want to see who else is on this list. It's hard to keep I need to know who's in front of these teams to be able to even.
The Broncos.
Oh, this list
What,
is
okay, yeah.
this list is done.
This is taking just
Can we
a
go through?
weird
Can we just go
turn.
through the top 5? I just want to see
Yeah.
here because this is
5. So I was wrong. The Detroit Lions.
yeah. I would say the Lions should be. They're higher. The teams are above. I can go with. I'm interested to see if there are teams that are in front of them that probably shouldn't be. Because as of right now, I'm thinking of some that if they're in front of the Lions, I'm gonna flip this table over.
You're gonna see red.
There's
4,
one specifically I'm
Commanders.
thinking of.
That I hate that.
They should be. I think they should be behind the Eagles.
They should be. I think they're
Put
offensively.
them 6 or 7.
Offensively, I think they're on the same tier as the Packers. Better quarterback, but skill position wise, I like Josh Jacobs better than Terry McLaurin.
I don't
know
know, boys. I mean, they got Laramie Tunsil, they got Debo, and they have the same OC. They got Kingsbury, and now it's Jaden's second year in that system.
Debo is going to have 600 to 700 receiving yards this year. Like, let's stop acting like Debo Samuel is going to be a factor. Zacchaeus is probably a better receiver.
But now they have Debo and Zacchaeus and Terry.
They don't have Zacchaeus.
Zacchaeus is in the Bears.
Excuse me. And
I think I would say this. I think it's a good.
Ryan Johnson, Austin Eckler.
No, yeah, I'll say this. I'm not going to say it's a bad offense. It's a good offense, but they're like 6. Like you put them down 2, put them down 3. I'm not going to sit here and argue and like pound the table that they're a bad offense. This is a really good offense, and they have a great OC. I would just say I would put them. I'd probably throw the Lions and the Eagles in front of them. I think the 2 teams that were better than them last year outside of the playoffs with the Lions, obviously, but I would just throw them. I'm not the Bengals. You can have a conversation because
you can't look me straight in the face and say
I can, yeah, because top to bottom, like their offensive line is better. They have better weapons all around when you talk running back room. Quarterback, in my opinion, I know Joe Burrow's number 2 in the NFL, but Jaden Daniels is a couple behind. He's not that far behind. He's probably 5th or 6th in the NFL. So it's not like we're not talking about like 15th best quarterback. I don't hate it. The Commanders' offense last year was the 2nd best, I think, in the NFL. Like when you're talking about like statistics and like percentage of not having to kick field goals and punt the ball, they were one of the most efficient offenses in the entire NFL.
Yeah.
So you have to give them credit, and I would put them above with their whole line in full. I would throw them above the Bengals.
No way. We moved. I'm not gonna turn this into an argument over the Bengals offense.
Well, yeah, because I think Jay Daniels, the whole sophomore slump thing, I saw Spencer commented that. I think that it could happen. I think what gives him an advantage, though, is his legs. He's still going to run for 800, 900 yards. You know what I mean? Like, CJ ain't running like that. So even if he is short, but again, it's the same. It's the same system. They upgraded the O-line, added them. They gave him another weapon. Like, not everyone has to have a sophomore slump, dude. You know, not everyone has to. Jane Daniels and I said Caleb was better at coming out, and I'm even saying this. Like, the guy doesn't need to have a sophomore slump. You just hopefully people realize that he can go out.
I don't think. I'll say this. I've said this with Jaden before in the CJ Stroud stuff. I don't like the comparison of people saying the year 2 jump with Jaden with CJ. CJ was in a completely different situation. Like, he lost wide receivers. His O-line wasn't that good. That OC, they ended up firing him halfway through the year. Like, CJ Stroud was in a bad spot. Like, Jaden still has one of the best offensive coordinators in the NFL. That O-line got bolstered up. They actually went and got one of the Texans. They got the Texans' best
tackles in the league.
Like, yes, and they added another weapon. And there's no injuries, knock on wood, right now. Obviously, they're trying to figure out the Terry McLaurin stuff. But, like, to me, and I think CJ Stroud and Jaden Daniels are like night and day, in my opinion, completely different players. Completely different players. Like, Jaden Daniels is a mobile quarterback. CJ Stroud isn't that mobile. Like, Jaden Daniels will run for 100 yards on you. CJ Stroud will not. So I think it's like just completely like I think Jaden Daniels is that much better than CJ Stroud. So I don't think there's a slump this year. Like, Jaden always can. Like, at the end of the day, like, he's always going to have his legs to run around and make plays, right? CJ just doesn't have that. If he doesn't have the weapons or the O-line's bad, like, that man's going to play bad at the end of the day. He needs some more people around. He could throw the rock. He's a great quarterback, but he's not out there running for his life like Jaden Daniels and running for a 40-yard scramble.
I just think
it's such a different. It's different play.
To your point, they're completely different players, but I don't think you can look at Jaden Daniels after 1 year, and if you're looking at what we thought of CJ Stroud after 1 year, and say that they're completely different, because I think
they
CJ,
are. You literally just said
I think a lot of quarterbacks, including
made
Jaden
no sense.
last year, would struggle with what was going on in Houston. And I think when you look at, they just got Nico, they got Jalen Noel and Jaden.
Wait, Klotz, you missed my whole point. I literally just said CJ Stroud had a different situation in Houston. If Jaden was in that situation, maybe he wouldn't have played as well. But I'm saying the people saying he's going to take a step back in year 2, the only reason CJ Stroud did was because of the situation he was in and who got hurt. That was my original statement.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would say we'd all agree. I think Jaden's in a better situation
for sure, and I think he's just a better player. Like, I think that's another layer to it.
Like year 2, the interior of the O line for the Texans was just ass, and then Bobby Slowick gets fired mid-season. Like, it's just a disaster, and then everyone gets hurt.
I do get this. Shift God teams are about to scheme. 100%, but I think it's different than teams scheming up on CJ Stroud. Like, you can take a part of CJ's game, away. With Jaden, it's just like it's like the Josh Allen, the Lamar, the Patty Mahomes. He's gonna beat you with his
off script plays.
That's something at the end of the day CJ doesn't have at that level. He can probably do it, but at that level, it's something that can't be taught, man. And you could try and take it away and scheme against it. It's impossible. You've seen it with the Lions a million times.
Well, 3's the Ravens. I don't have a problem with that.
Good offense.
No.
2
could use another wide receiver. But
Bucks.
that's the one that I said I would be. Lions are ahead of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care. JT Olson, I love you in the chat. I'm taking the Lions offense over the Tampa Bay Bucks. I am.
I am too. I'm not going to put up an argument with it.
I like the Bucks. Top 5.
I think they're a top 5 offense for sure. The good offensive line. Baker, I think, is in a path that's close to being on a Jared Goff level. I don't think he's quite Jared Goff, but I think there's some people around the league that might take Baker over Jared Goff right now following the season that he had. But at the end of the day, I think just the Lions offense is much more dynamic. And I think a key factor in this is when you look at Cade Otton versus Sam Laporta. Like, that is just a huge level drop, because I think Amon-Ra, you guys would agree, Amon-Ra at this point is a better wide receiver than Mike Evans. They have different games, but if I'm taking one, which one am I doing? I'm taking Amon-Ra. I think there's a conversation to say that Chris Godwin's better than Jamison Williams, but I think both those guys can be near over 1,000 yards. And you're looking at Chris Godwin coming off another major injury. Jamison Williams potentially, even if it proves me wrong, I don't give a damn if I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong about it. Could have his best season of his career. Then Jahmyr Gibbs, Bucky Irving, stop. Rashad White, David Montgomery, stop.
And they got a new OC. They're getting a new OC just like us too. So you just don't know. It's question marks. I do like the Emeka Ibuka sign or draft pick. I love that. I think he's going to be, I said it, the best wide receiver out of that class. But yeah, I don't know. I like Bucky Irving, Rashad. They're both good. I would take Jahmyr and David over both of them. As a duo over them as well.
Listen, I respect the Bucks. I was disrespectful to them last offseason, Boone, and I learned. So I'm not going to sit here and trash them. But what I am going to say is I don't think they go 3 for 3 in their last OCs. I just don't. If they do,
kudos to what's his name?
Kudos to them. But this would mean that this OC takes them to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
If they're going to be the number 2 offense in the entire league.
That's crazy.
I don't think they'll be bad, but top 2.
That's why on this list, the Lions should be number 3 because they should be ahead of the Bucks and they should be ahead of the Commanders. Move those 2 back, move the Lions up.
But I would move the Bengals in front of the Lions.
I don't think the Bengals move up that much. The whole line, man, and the running backs. I think there's too many questions there.
See, me and you differ. I would push the Lions back like a spot or 2. I'm sorry. I think Eagles. I would take maybe the Eagles. It'd be a debate for sure. Mid-debate.
You would push the Lions back?
Yeah.
Nah.
You wouldn't put them above the Bucks and the Commanders?
There's a lot. I'm gonna be honest. There's a lot I would do to this list. I would change. I would move the Bucks back. I would move the Bengals.
This was a list I did text a couple more, like a month ago, and said we should do our top 10 offenses in the NFL. So next week
we'll do that Thursday. Then we'll come out
next week.
Yeah,
and the boys kind of ignored me when I said that. The boys didn't like that one.
No, it's great. I'll do it. I'll show you what because I think the Lions are anywhere from like I don't hate 5. I think they're 5 to 7. I'd have to really break it down. I'd probably move them back like a
Bengals
spot.
is such a weird one to me, man. I can't wrap my head around that offense.
They're so the Bengals are just so talented offense.
They're top heavy though.
Like spots, and
they're
then
top
after
heavy.
that, yeah, I'm with you. But I just think
That's why
when you look at how they were performing last year in the AFC, consistently game in game out, whether it was T Higgins, no T Higgins,
they put
the OC
numbers
Bob's
up
out there making plays. But if the Buccaneers were to have the number 2 offense in the NFL, they're winning. They're not. They're making the Super Bowl.
They should win the Super Bowl. They should win it.
Yeah. Do you guys think that Tampa could be like a sneaky, like Super Bowl type of run team? Because when I look at them, I think
I always thought they were good.
Their draft class, man. And I know that rookies, you're not looking as like making, but Tampa was already very good. Every time they play Detroit, they give them hell. When you look at adding Benjamin Morrison, adding Emeka Egbuka, they just through the draft, you're like, how did Tampa get this guy? How did Tampa get this guy?
I would probably
a chance in the South, man. They could be like a top 3 seed in the NFC. Baker's hot in the playoffs. That could be a team that could make a Super Bowl run.
I'll put them as a top maybe 4 or 5 team in the NFC. Lions, Eagles, Rams, and then Bucks maybe. Bucks or Commanders.
The South though, like by record, like if you're looking at even out the North,
yeah, but that doesn't mean anything though. At the end of the day,
I think, but I'm saying seeding wise, they're winning. Like going into the playoffs, I think I could see the Buccaneers having more wins than either the Eagles.
But you're saying Super Bowl. You're saying Super Bowl contenders is what the question you asked, correct?
Right. Yeah, but now I'm saying like in the playoffs, heading into the playoffs, like for them to make a run, like I think they could have a really good regular season to set them up nicely.
Home field, have home field.
Yeah. I just don't think that. I don't think honestly, I don't think any of that matters. I'd still would probably put them at 4th or 5th in the NFC to make a run.
But it would help if they got home field.
How did it work for the Lions last year?
Well, there's a lot of things that factored in.
I'm just saying. I am just being honest though. It's the home
field that they lost. I think it's because Jared stunk. Like that's.
Yeah, but my point is, anything can happen. The home field really doesn't. It matters, yes, but when you're going up against the Eagles, when you're going up against the Lions, when you're going up against the Rams,
they beat the Eagles in Tampa the year prior.
The year prior, not last year. Well, the year prior.
Okay, when you're dying on this, why are you dying on this home field hill? This isn't like
no. I've switched my opinion on it. Klotz last year was trying to convince me all year, and I've switched my position on it. Like it means nothing. Like at the end of the day, you still have to win the football game, and you still have to go up against the best in the league, and it's a battle.
Yeah.
And listen too, and you guys know this. I love this Bucks team. I was the only one on them last year. I like Todd Bowles. I like what they do offensively. I was a big Baker fan. I love this team. I would probably put them like right there in the Rams. Jeff, I've told you before, like I kind of like to tier some of these teams, like who can win, who can't. I would put the Eagles and Lions tier 1 in the NFC, and then I would go Bucks, Rams, and Commanders in tier 2, like teams that can win it. But I wouldn't throw them right into contenders, like. But I would say teams that are like. That's a team that can win it.
The Rams, I don't understand, Boone.
Yeah,
and I mean they're a good team.
Rams
it's not a bad thing. It's a good team. To me, contenders. I think every year, in my opinion, contender is such a big word. That's like me. That's your NFC championship game. Those are like your final 4 teams.
Soon.
Yeah, I just think contenders, like you can't have like 8 contenders, in my opinion. It has to be like the top 4 teams.
I'm with you there.
So that's why the Rams, like they're on the edge of contenders, but I would say like I think they can win a Super Bowl.
That's what I don't like.
Yeah, I mean, again, if I pick 2 teams from each conference to be contenders, the Rams are the 3rd team. That's what it is.
Look at JT Olsen. It's Super Bowl or bust for the Bucks. They are the team to beat in the NFC.
Team to beat in the NFC is crazy.
Well, number 1, the Bills. We kind of understood. We kind of knew that was coming. Yeah, I mean, when I look at this list, man, like looking at the top of it, I would move the Bengals up higher. I don't care about the Chiefs.
How are the Rams not on here?
And the Rams, I would add on this list. I'd probably put them 5 or 6. I'd probably put them.
Probably just their own line. They didn't put them on because of that.
Their offensive line isn't even like that bad at this point. Like it's
not
elite,
it's not like elite. Yeah,
they have the best wide receiver core outside of Cincinnati, in my opinion. They have an all-pro running back in Kyron Williams. Matthew Stafford, I get his
Sean
older,
McVay.
but it's still a top 5 to 6 quarterback. Sean McVay, Terrence Ferguson, and Tyler Higbee.
Whoa,
Yeah, like,
that really gets you.
That's a. Well, I'm saying like it's not like they have
offense,
nobody at tight end. Like Terrence Ferguson is going to be nice. This
Hey,
year.
you forgot about Tutu Atwell.
2-2. Can't forget Jordan Whittington. Okay,
Like,
Blake
now we're
Corum.
Now we're just
Blake Corum.
Yeah, Klotz.
Blake
See,
Corum.
Klotz, I told you, you need to know when to cut off it and leave the cliff hanging. Sometimes you go a little too far. You
Jordan
need to know when
We
boom,
dive deep. We dive
make
deep.
your point. Make your point and boom. Because it was good until you started naming those guys. And then
Hey,
you really
Jordan
lost me.
Whittington. Is he in Texas?
Texas legend.
No, but I
Blake
like the Rams.
Corum,
I'd put the
Michigan
Rams
legend.
in tier. I'd put the Rams probably in tier 1. But it's fine. We're not going to dive.
Tier 1 Super Bowl. You think they're Super Bowl contenders?
I do.
Yeah, they
To
are.
That's
each
just
their
my
own.
opinion. I think there's only 3 in the NFC, and it's the Rams, Eagles, and Lions.
To each
I
their
do.
own. I'll put the Commanders over the Rams.
Nah, they're close.
They are.
And
That's a close.
you just
we
just
just-
like
we-
Sean.
we have
McVay.
the
You got
same
you two.
viewpoint
You
for
two are Sean McVay lovers. I get it. And Devontae
I
Adams
mean, yeah, that dude's
lovers.
nuts.
I mean, and the D line. That D line.
That D line's good. But who are the
Cameron
linebackers?
Kitchen?
Sean Dolak. Do
Oh,
I need to
wow.
remind you?
Yeah, no,
They got
legit.
that
Who are their
Ernest Jones guy that's
linebackers?
been passed around the NFL. They got another one that's not anything
Oh.
like amazing.
Who are their corners? Jeff,
Corners,
stop
they got-
typing over there. What are you typing over there for?
No,
I'm trying
I
to
don't
prove
know.
a point.
I don't know who.
Who
it
are
is.
their
I'm gonna look
safeties?
it up.
Like you guys can't name
Safeties,
anyone.
they got
Oh,
Cam
Cameron
Kitchen.
Kitchen.
Cam
You're
Kitchen.
looking, Jeff. I was trying to prove a
I
point.
know
You
that.
pulled up
They
their
got
depth
a
chart.
defensive player of the
Cameron
year
Kitchen
type
doesn't
of
know who Cameron
candidate.
Kitchen is, Boone. We
I was
covered
trying
up
to prove
earlier.
a point. and
The
you-
Commanders
depth
got Will Harris back there. Okay, they got the burn ends of Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah, I mean, their
and
corners
I don't
are
even know
still
who's on the
barbecue
other
chicken.
side.
My
for 'em.
point
They're
is the only thing on their defense you guys can name outside of Cam Kitchens is their defensive line. You guys can't name their corners without looking it up, or their safeties, or their linebackers.
No, the safeties.
I
That's
did
not
give you Dolak
true.
and Ernest
Cameron
Jones.
Kitchen.
You can name Cam. I literally just said outside of Cameron Kitchens, you guys can't name anyone besides their D line. I just said that. You got to open your ears, Jeff
Rams had
Iafrate.
Troy Reader starting at linebacker when they won, and he's starting this year.
No, but the other day,
Yeah,
ETN, these guys are the ones like we had this argument with Jeff Klotz and I that you need linebackers in there. Like, and we started naming, and Klotz, you know this. We went through the
Just
Super
said
Bowl
they won
winners.
with Troy Reader.
But what I'm saying
Aaron
is
Donald.
Klotz was part of the argument saying you need linebackers that are elite or very good in there to win Super Bowls, and we went each one. And Jeff, you named some, and we named them right away. Boom, boom, boom. And it's like you guys can't even name that. Like I think their offense is very good, their D line's very good, but I think they have to. Hey, what is that secondary like? What are the linebackers? We don't know anything yet on that
And
team.
that was the team that
It's not a bad thing.
I just look at that defensive line, that front seven in general. And
Like
that
this.
was the team that gave the Philadelphia Eagles the
Sick.
most hell. If they got Jalen
Yeah, no,
Ramsey, like,
Klotz,
they just
I'm-
need a vet.
I'm with you. I am with you. Like they will have a chance. They can again. I think they can win the Super Bowl. I don't think that's out of the realm. But to say contender, it's like to me, teams from top to the bottom, you have to have it all. Like Eagles, they have the linebackers, linemen, secondary, offensive line, weapons. Lions, they have both lines. If you want to argue the
But
edge,
that's
they have the
not-
linebackers.
looking through history, that's not the case at all, though.
I'm.
Like,
Oh
the
my
Super
gosh.
Bowl
Okay,
winners-
I'm done with this conversation. I'm out.
So you would agree they're contenders?
Yeah,
I
he's-
know
he's been
they're right on
He's
the edge
been-
in my opinion. I want to see what their defense looks like. Because Klotz, like the dumbest thing, that's the dumbest thing ever. Because just the other day you're arguing the history shows you need linebackers. Now today you're going.
I'm
The
saying
history
it
shows you
definitely-
don't need it,
I've ne-
dude. You're playing
okay.
both sides of the ball right now. Play one side and stick
If
with it.
that's
Don't
the way that
switch
you hear that argument, then that's on you.
because the other day you were on my side with the linebackers. With
Boone,
Enzo.
I never was like, you need Enzo and Jack Campbell to both be playing well or you're not winning the Super Bowl. That's not what I said at all. I said it helps a
Jeff.
lot to have it. And then you go,
No,
Jeff was saying that you
That's
don't need
unbelievable.
it.
All right, let's move on because I'm not doing.
No, there's
this
a difference. There's a
flip-flopping
difference.
stuff
Is
tonight.
it
It's a good
if
Friday.
you're ranking things you need on a football team to win a Super Bowl, where would you guys put linebacker? That's the
Obviously,
And
but
that's
I'm
a
still
different
saying.
question.
But what I'm saying is,
it came out of your mouth.
hold
and
on, what I'm
Amon-Ra said
saying
on the
is-
St. Brown podcast that if you have a good defensive line, you don't need cornerback.
What
Now we're
I am
talking about the
saying is
linebackers and corners.
contending teams, in my opinion, the teams that are top 5, top 6 in odds to win the Super Bowl, those are teams that they don't have those massive questions. They have everything from top to bottom where you're like, this is a legit team top to bottom. I'm not saying the Rams are like, I think they're on the edge. If we go into week 5 and they're like, hey, this defense is humming right now, I would throw them in a contender. If that defense is humming and they're playing at a high level, they're contending. But it's just, hey, you guys couldn't name anyone on that defense outside the D-line besides Cam Kitchens. And you're saying they're a contending defense. And Jeff tells me all the time, defense wins championships. You can name 5 people on that defense. You can't name not a linebacker, not a corner without looking it up. No. So it's like, this isn't a big, I'm not trying to, like, what are we doing here? I have them on the edge. I have them to where by week 3, I could be like, contenders. I got to see it. And you guys are acting like I'm saying they're like not going to make the playoffs.
No, I'm not saying we're just defending our take. You're the one pressing us over something you may have.
And like Etienne, name 5 people on Commanders defense. I don't have the Commanders as a top 5 team in the NFL. I don't have them as a contending team. I think they're right there with the Rams to where they can win the Super Bowl. And if they start to look,
if they can win the Super Bowl,
I think there's tiers to it. I think there's legit like contenders, and then there's teams that can win the Super Bowl.
Contenders.
I have 2 different tiers. I have tier 1 and tier 2.
But
I have like the elite teams, and then I have the teams that can win.
But you said sometimes there's too many contenders. But you said that like there's still.
Yeah, I think there are like teams that are
contenders.
I think there are teams that are you going to listen, or are you just going to keep saying contenders?
I was still talking. Continue. That's fine.
I said there are contenders, teams that they will be in no matter what, they're going to be there to win a Super Bowl. And you have and then there are teams that they have a chance and they have the team to go win a Super Bowl. There's a difference.
But so through the last 3 seasons, what makes the Lions more contenders than the Rams?
They have a fuller roster. They have from top to bottom.
Not over the last 3 years as well.
I don't think last year they didn't. No,
we're not talking the Rams.
The Lions over the Rams did last year, yeah.
That's my point. So,
what's your point?
Then the Rams made a further playoff run the year before. Lions and Rams were right there, neck and neck.
I'm confused. They weren't because the Lions beat them.
But what I'm saying is the Lions had the clear advantage of the roster right now. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and that's why you're making my point. That's why I have the Lions as Super Bowl contenders.
But what I'm saying, they've had the better
Rams
rosters.
Is just can win it.
They've had the better roster, but the Rams have won a Super Bowl and consistently made deep
years ago. I'm talking.
Dude,
that was years ago. That was Klotz, you're making bad points. That was a complete different team, dude.
Better in the playoffs.
Your point makes no sense. That was a completely different team.
No, the point that you would use is they had the best game against the Eagles in the playoffs by far.
Which that's fair, but they still, in my opinion, they still lost. That's why I had the Eagles. That's why the Eagles are those contenders because they finished those games and they did it. Down the stretch, they did it.
There's been numerous times with this Rams team where they haven't been the best team on paper, but they still make really deep playoff runs.
But did they win the Super Bowl? Because I'm talking about Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, they did. What, 3-4 years ago?
So that was a different team than today, though. That's a different team today.
I would have absolutely, but we've seen this coaching staff, this quarterback, and some of these players winning.
Klotz isn't comprehending what I'm saying.
I think we're arguing nothing again.
I just don't think he's hearing what I'm saying.
It's because me and Klotz think the Rams are contenders. You are willing to say it in week 2, so it's like
I just got to see. I put them with Commanders. I need to see it more. Same with the Bucs. I'll throw the Bucs in that same category. They can win the Super Bowl, but I'm not putting them as solidified contenders just yet.
See, I'm going to be honest. I don't think the Bucs could be an AFC team. I'm just being real. I think the Bucs could make it out the NFC. If everything goes, I just can't see them beating like the Bills, or even the Ravens. I think I would take them over I'd take the Ravens over the Bucs. So it's like there's things we agree and disagree with, but
for sure
we'll do tiers.
We got to agree on the tiers too because
we're not going to agree on tiers.
There's a
0% chance we're going to agree on tiers. Based on this conversation, there's no way we're going to agree on tiers. We have to agree on the tier names, though.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying we have to agree on tier names, and we had the definition of it. We could do that off.
Yeah, can we not do contender? Can we do something?
Well, no, I think it's contender, and then can win Super Bowl. Like I think there's a difference between being.
That's counter.
I don't think so. I think there's teams that can make runs and win the Super Bowl that aren't solidified contenders. Does anyone in the chat understand what that means?
That doesn't make sense. If you say
I've seen lists do that all the time.
Win a Super Bowl. That's literally a contender, bro.
I've I've seen lists. I've literally seen people do tiers and lists that have that exact same thing every time.
Well, they're idiots. That's that.
And like national media.
They're idiots. Contender is literally a team that can win the Super Bowl.
But it's just a team that can make a run. That's not like you're not expecting it, but hey, they can make a run. Like that team can win the Super Bowl
But I don't
if
view
they're
them
playing
as-
at the highest level. But
like when I think of contenders, I think of like the Ravens, Bills, Chiefs, Eagles. Like I put the Rams.
Lions.
I think of those teams.
He's out,
Again,
but you didn't even say that's a disrespectful. This is that BS I'm talking about. The dude just said all those teams, didn't mention the Lions.
Dude, how
and the
many
Rams
times
first.
have I said I don't think the
Unreal.
Lions win the Super Bowl?
So
this
don't put
year?
them as contenders then when we do it.
That was the whole point I was
That's
about to make.
ridiculous, dude. That is like insane.
I'm sorry that
It's
you
so nuts to me.
we don't have to view the teams eye to eye, but you're saying the tiers. I've made it very clear. I do not think the Lions win the Super Bowl this year. We can go down a whole other argument about it when we make the tier list. But I think there's contenders, and those are the teams that you're like, yeah, they can make a playoff. And then there's a team where it's like they can make a run, but I don't see them winning the Super Bowl. And then there's a team that they can make the playoffs, but they're not making a run. And then there's like,
Okay, because there's teams that can make a run that aren't contenders that can win a Super Bowl and make a run.
See, it'd be like I actually agree with this. It'd be like Super Bowl contenders.
Okay.
Playoff
Playoff contenders is a team that could get into the dance and they can win the Super Bowl. And you're like, oh, whoa.
no, because that's every team in the playoffs. Then
Can we move on, please? Can we move on? You guys move on. Move on. Jeff, take control of the show. Move on. This is annoying, dude. I'm annoyed now.
Yeah, I mean,
it was such a good Friday until this.
It's not that deep. It's the tier names, dude. Yeah, that's all it is. These guys.
I'm just like thinking like of a team like the Giants who like weren't considered contenders, didn't have the best year, but then make a run to win the Super Bowl, or like the Pacers. Like no one at the beginning of the year were like the Pacers are NBA Finals contenders.
You don't think?
But that's what I'm saying is there are teams where you're like that's a really good team. I can't say they're contenders, but would I be shocked if they went and won the Super Bowl and made a run at it? No, I wouldn't be.
That's so you would tell me at the beginning of that season with the Giants that if Eli Manning and the Giants beat Tom Brady,
let's use the Pacers examples more. Let's use the it's more relevant. Let's use the Pacers
it's shocking,
example.
is it not, to see the Pacers do this to the Thunder though? I think it's shocking.
No. I think you could have been like, if you watched the NBA, I think you'd have been like, I wouldn't be like, they're not a contending team all year, or even like when they actually started playing well, they're not a contending team. Would you be shocked if they went on a run and won the? You wouldn't be like, no, it could happen. Like JT said, it could happen.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's okay. In my opinion, it's what we just see it differently. Like I think that's hedging, in my opinion. I don't
think you think a lot of things are hedging. You use that word a
lot. I think saying I wouldn't be surprised if this happened for like a bunch of teams is like hedging a little bit. Like I don't know. But we'd have to agree on tiers. We have to. Like there's no way.
Like this. This is good. This is good. Hold on. So Big Cat.
Okay.
He does his team. Hold on. He does his. Hold on. All right. He does his team's tiers every week, right? His Monday power rankings or Tuesday power rankings. Do you know what and this helps my point out a little more. Maybe I was using the wording wrong, and I can admit I might have been wrong. He does juggernauts, which are like the Eagles, the Lions, the Bills, and then he does Super Bowl contenders, which are teams that can win the Super Bowl. So maybe we need to do juggernauts, and then we need to do Super Bowl contenders.
Okay. See, I like that.
I can admit I might have been wrong a little bit wording wise, but do you guys see now what my thought process was on that?
We can always get on the same track with the wording as far as like
juggernauts.
What it actually means.
We'll do juggernauts and then Super Bowl contenders because he does that, and then he does a couple different random ones that are insane.
Then that's fine.
His next one is good in theory, but something bad will happen to them. Frisky, but please punch me in both eyes first. That's some interesting.
Can I take control of the show? Can I take?
Hey, you're the host.
I mean, I was battling a second ago. I was trying to take control.
Well, you guys were just yelling at me.
Oh my gosh.
I'm kidding. It's a joke. Take a joke. Come on, sarcasm. Let's have some fun.
I can't wait to have Caleb on.
Oh yeah, this is a whole adding another.
We can just attack Caleb.
That was fun. Hey, it gets the juices flowing.
Hey, good top 10 list. We made something out of nothing with that top 10 list. Good argument.
Yeah, well, I have another. It's Darkhorse MVPs this upcoming season. So if there's anyone that's not on this list that you agree with, or if you disagree or agree with some of the names, we can talk about it. But the first name they have is a Darkhorse MVP for this upcoming NFL season, which I was a little surprised, and I'll explain. Saquon Barkley. All right. I think if you get 2,000 yards, that's the year that you're MVP. I get Darkhorse, I guess, makes sense because it's a player that maybe you don't expect to do it again. But if for Saquon to be in consideration for the award, he would have to rush again for 2,000, right? Like, how would he?
You'd have to break the record.
You gotta, in my opinion. So I don't even see how that should even happen. I don't.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Maybe if
he's
he's getting like 1,800 and going a little bit more through the air, maybe they get him incorporated. I don't know. I don't think it's a bad dark horse one, but I'm with you. There's going to be a quarterback that'll win it over you 10 times out of 10 if you're not getting 2,000.
100%. I don't even know what like dark horse MVP. Like I know Klotz was on the Saturday show a couple weeks ago, and they did whatever quarterback or whatever players were outside the top 5 in the odds, and I don't even know outside of that. Like, it's tough. Jaden or Justin Herbert, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that Saquon. So the next player they have, Jamar Chase.
Yeah, see, this is just non-quarterbacks, which just seems
it's unrealistic.
It's not because if Jamar Chase goes off, guess who else is going off?
Burrow. Yeah.
Joe Burrow.
And then
So now you have Joe winning MVP and Jamar winning Offensive Player of the Year.
I agree with that. Next player, Jaden Daniels.
That's one that I like. He was actually 5th in odds.
I like this one.
In the sports books. I wouldn't be shocked if Jaden Daniels had an MVP year. I wouldn't be.
So far, I love the Jaden Daniels one.
Yeah.
Next player, Jared Thomas Goff. He's on the list officially. He was
Talk to me, Klotz.
What was he, top 4, top 5 last year?
Yeah. 4.
Yeah, so he was in that realm last year, balled out. New OC. Maybe Frank retiring. If he does it, if he's in the MVP conversation this year, I think we have to have a conversation about Jared Goff.
There's no excuses at that point for people who don't like him.
That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. What do I think happens? I think his stats drop from last year, not in a bad way. I just think he's probably around, what do you have, 37 and 10? I think the yards will probably be around the same. He's always been around over 4,000 every year. I mean, he'll be in the around that area.
It was a 4,600 last year.
Yeah, he'll probably be. I wouldn't be shocked if he got that again. 44 to 46, whatever it is. I think the TDs do come down a little bit, though. I think he's probably 31 TDs this year. I can see him throwing 30 again, but I don't think he throws 37 or more again. That would be. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. But in my opinion, I don't think it happens. And then the interceptions are the other thing. He had 10 last year. I think he probably gets around the same number. So I think it's a Jared Goff year, but I don't think it's an MVP year. But honestly, dark horse, again, we're not talking about winning. Dark horse, I actually don't hate this, honestly. I mean, he's with all the weapons they have, like, I understand it. I understand why he would be a dark horse.
Yeah. I think if he does something similar to last year, even comes close to it. Like, I do think last year there was just some, like, Lamar's year was insane. Josh Allen had an insane year, which these guys could have those years again.
Right.
But, and like Joe Burrow, he had a crazy year. I think he was a finalist as well. And Saquon, I think that was the 5. But if Jared goes out there and he has 4,500 plus yards for a second year in a row, and he throws for, even if he throws, honestly, give him 30 something touchdowns, like, you can still, in like less than 10 interceptions, and they're on and they're somehow winning some of these big time games. I think that's the biggest thing. Remember last year, the conversation I had with Jared to win the MVP was he has to play good all the way through the year. Obviously that Texans game's hurt him, but when that 49ers game came around, I was like, that's going to be the game that puts him over. And then that 49ers game, there was no meaning to it. But then the Minnesota Vikings one ended up being that game to where, go win this game. You're not going to win it, but you'll be a finalist. And that's what happened. I think this year, I think it's, you guys know how I feel about awards. It's storylines, big storylines. And I think they play a lot of big games this year. He plays against Joe Burrow. He plays against Patrick Mahomes. You know, who else do they play? Lamar Jackson. Like, you're playing MVP guys. So if you go into those games, and a lot of those games are going to be primetime, and this offense looks like it did at the peak last year, there's not, like, media is going to be talking and be like, this Jared Goff offense, they lose Frank Ragnow. If he goes out there and performs in some of those games, the conversation is going to be started up again. It's going to be sparked up. And I don't think there's a, you know what I mean? It's a good thing. I mean, you're sitting there going, like, this guy's playing out of his mind. It means you're winning games.
Yeah, I think this upcoming year for Jared Goff, is the most important year of his career, even going back to LA, because in LA, he kind of had you could be like, well, he's still developing. He's a young quarterback, had success, weighed on it. He's in his prime now. I think Jared Goff can continue to get better, but I don't think you're going to see another step coming out of Jared Goff. If he doesn't operate at the level he was last year, they're not going to make the Super Bowl. This has to be the year when Jared Goff is the leader of this team. Obviously, there's going to be guys like Panay and Aiden Hutchinson, but you got to look at Jared Goff and say he is the one commanding this team. The best player on this team right now, outside of Panay Sewell and Hutch, is Jared Goff. There's no question about it. And he has to be single-handedly at some points putting games away with not his arm as far as throwing 70-yard bombs at JMO, but continue to perform on that efficient level where you saw the Seattle Seahawks game was very close on Monday Night Football. But he was able throughout that whole game to go 18 for 18, play flawless, and that just helps that defense put the game away because you're able to hand off the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs. You can check it down to David Montgomery, watch him truck Devin Witherspoon and run for another 50 yards. And if you just stay steady and consistent, this team has the talent to be able to go on and close teams out within itself. But now that you're talking about, okay, there's going to be a different situation play calling, no Frank Ragnow, that makes it more difficult. But Jared has to take that step up to at least maintain the level of play that he was at last year.
I do think with the loss of Frank and Zeitler, it's going to hurt him, which would hurt any quarterback. You lose a potential Pro Bowl level guard and your all-pro center, especially for someone who's not really necessarily very mobile. I think we have to just state the obvious, it's going to hurt him. Now, how much does it hurt him? I don't think he goes out and has a 20/20 vision, 20 picks, 20 TDs or nothing like that. I just think his stats regress. But the thing is, I don't give a shit about his stats during the regular season. I don't. What I care about is what playoff golf you're getting. That's the most important thing of this whole thing. We're talking about regular season stats and numbers and awards. I don't care. He could come out this year, have 25 TD, 7 picks. And I'd be like, great year by Jared. I need to see Jared playing in the playoffs at the level he was playing at when they made the NFC Championship. I need that Jared, where he's dialed. He started that Rams game 11 for 11, just picking apart defenses. That's all I really, because we've seen quarterbacks. I mean, we've seen great quarterbacks do it, but guys that just kind of coast through the regular season and they turn it on for the playoffs. Usually it's some of these all-time greats, but I'm not going to judge Jared by whether or not he's in the MVP conversation. I don't care. If this dude gets you a deep playoff run and he plays well, I'm going to look at that contract and be like, you know what? This is why you're paying the guy, not to win MVP award. Although it'd be nice, obviously. Hey, the guy won MVP. It's great. Coverage. It's great conversation. But I want playoff golf max aura.
I think there's two. I agree with you, Jeff. I think everyone does as well. I've seen the chat. Most people do. I think there's two things to that point that you made there. One, the MVP. I just want to throw this out there. If Jared Goff goes out there this year and puts, let's say, identical numbers that he did last season, I think that would hold more weight in the MVP conversation in 2025 based off of Frank Ragnow leaving, Kevin Zeitler leaving, new OC. I think people would look at that and be like, I think he would have a better case. Exact same numbers. I'm saying you put them right next to each other and somehow he has the 4,600, 38 and 12 again. I think people will look at it and be like, hey, you really actually should consider him to win the MVP because of what he did in the new situation that he's in. Now, to your point about that, Jeff, with the playoffs, I completely agree with you. The regular season, this is the point where I'd say with the home field, all of that, nothing matters. The only thing that matters from week 1 to week 18 is getting into playoffs. That's it. Nothing else matters. Performances, nothing matters until you get there. Staying healthy and making sure you're in the playoffs. And then when you get in the playoffs, the positive I'll take away from this, Jeff, is typically in the past, 2 years ago, when you weren't in the playoffs, no one knew if Jared Goff was going to be good when you did get to the playoffs. You were sitting there are you going to get the Jared Goff from the Super Bowl who barely threw for any yards and they ended up losing to the Patriots team, that defense, and they really couldn't hold their own? Or are you going to get the Jared Goff in the regular season that you've seen in some big games where he does make those plays? And then when we got to finally see it in 2023, hey, this guy can play in the playoffs. This isn't he can actually play. And then obviously the Commanders game was just a meltdown. I think the positive of it is you do know, hey, we can get a good Jared Goff in the playoffs. We've seen it before. I think not having that unknown is actually a kind of a good feeling, but you still need to be like, hey, we need that out of him at the end of the day. But at least, hey, At least we know we can get it. There's an expectation now. He's done it before for us. Now it's like we can't have that Commanders game in the playoffs. The Texans game. You remember all year when the Texans happened? We were like, all right, let's wash that from our brain and just hope he doesn't do that in the playoffs. And then in the playoffs,
when he came around,
he did that exact thing in the playoffs, what he did in the Texans game. And it was like the only thing we couldn't have happen. He did it. So that was brutal. But at least we know he can win in the playoffs and he could play in the playoffs. We do know he could perform.
The reason why I bring up the home field stuff, I don't think it's everything, but the reason why I think it's important, and I don't mean this disrespectfully to Jared Goff, but I would rather Jared play in a dome than than Philly. It's really Philly. I'm not talking about going to Tampa. You're out in Tampa. And
I would rather have the 1 seed. I'm not saying I wouldn't. I would love the 1 seed.
It's really just Philly to me. That's the only team I'm looking at. Well, I'm trying to think. I guess
Washington's outdoors.
Yeah, I guess they're weather, but yeah, it's
I don't want
to
Green Bay somehow.
The Lambeau, I was just say Lambeau. I would not want
Lambeau.
to go into. San Francisco. I understand that it's nice weather.
Yeah, they should have won there.
That meant to play.
They should have won in San Francisco.
But I just like the home field. I would love home field. It just, to me, my point is with all of that is we literally just lost at home in the divisional round.
I mean, Shifgod, brother, he literally went to Green Bay in the fucking
he's played good in Green Bay. Him and Dan's had the team ready in Green
Lambeau,
Bay,
I'm not as scared of. I don't want to use the word scared, but
the Eagles one is
or eerie. The Eagles, man, like you're not going to look me in the face and say you.
What is that field called? Lincoln Financial or something?
Oh yeah, that's it's just just being there. It's like Ford Field. It's like
you were going to say.
No one's going to say I want to go to Detroit. I mean, that's a tough place to play.
No, people have said that.
Oh, they're idiots.
No, like people in the NFL have said we don't want to play in Detroit.
I thought they said they want to. I'm like, okay.
Oh no,
come play in Detroit.
I thought you said
Commanders, except for the Commanders.
We were mixed up there.
They can say that. But I think Lambeau's a little different because they've played in Lambeau so much. It's like they're just used to it now at this point. They play Philly. They haven't really. They
played Philly this year, don't they?
Long time.
Yeah, but I'm saying in this regime with Jared.
No, they have not.
Philly
the last time that they did was Stafford and Kenny
played
Galladay
Philly at home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
they opened up. I think that was the first game of like Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, because they had DeAndre Swift.
They got destroyed in that game.
Well, they played in 2022. In 2022, it wasn't the first game.
Late.
It was I think it was year 2. They might have played.
You're right, but it was year 2 of it because they played the.
Because I was at the game. Yeah, I went to the Eagles game, and it was like
you did. I was there too.
I think Maz actually gave me tickets to go to that game. Maz had tickets and was like, "Booner, you want them?" And I was like, "Yep." And I drove there by myself. I just stood on the concourse and watched.
Oh,
and he also gave me tickets to the Jags.
That's the game the second half they clawed all the way back.
Yeah.
And they lost by 3. That is true. Yeah, that was a good game, but that was at home. Yeah, they never played in Philly. That's
no, they haven't. That's going to be. I don't know if they do this year. Actually, I'm trying to think if they do. I don't know.
They play in Philly, yeah.
In Philly, they do. We do play Philly this year.
Deal it out, yeah. I think
they play Philly, Washington, the Giants, and the Cowboys.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. No. The one thing with the home field too in the playoffs, and I can't remember who was talking about this recently, but it might have been on 97.1. One of the guys on there actually brought up a good point that the problem in the playoffs, not a lot of team or the diehard fans get in the building. That it's like because the price of the tickets, that it's just like all rich people and companies that just go, and like the atmosphere in the playoffs, it's loud, but compared to like the diehard fans, like
the blue collar guys,
the rumors are that kills it a little bit. Like it really
does. Yeah, think about how many people just go there to say like, oh, like the amount of just like early college teen kids that just like go and they're just like, yeah, we're going to the Lions game to have fun. Like, but they're like not actually fans of the team.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of the times for big games, it's more of just like a social event than to be.
They need to get the diehards in there.
Reserve a section.
The whole lower bowl should be diehards. Upper bowl can be whoever.
Take your pictures up there. You probably get a better view of the field all the way around. Get your selfie stick up.
You should have to like submit a video of you like screaming like they should have a whole staff just for that.
You submit your Kool-Aid video.
Yeah, I would like to do the Kool-Aid video on the field one day. I don't know if that's. We've had conversations with some people that know people that know people
that know other people.
Look at this.
Industry.
Weezy D
Keep knowing
retract.
people.
He said that is true, but Ford Field, just a neutral field. We need a retractable roof.
Oh, he's
The
talking about
fuck
with
we
weather. He's
do.
talking about like with weather. We don't. No.
No, but I'm saying we need a retractable roof. No,
No, I'm out. Do you know what's crazy is the Bills are rebuilding. They're building a new stadium right now. Guess what?
they're putting
No
a roof
roof.
on it.
No roof.
Yeah.
Oh, they love it though.
Dude, it's such
They
an
do, but they
advantage.
have to play. But they have to play like they get a snowstorm. They have to come play in Ford Field for one of their home games. They've done that like twice in the last like 5 years. They've had to
They
come
win,
play at
though.
Ford Field.
They win.
Yeah, but it's just
Think about
you
like
would
when but think about when they got Miami. They have been able just to curb stomp the Miami Dolphins for so long because Miami they can't go play in the cold. They put a dome in there. Tua might throw for 200 yards instead of 73.
I do really love when I see like I don't know if you guys noticed it, but like with the Bills when it snows, they're
Yeah,
like
especially when they
shoveling.
play the Bengals
The
and stuff.
fans are like shoveling out and like they don't have seats. They're like sitting on snow piles. It's one of
Oh,
the
Jason.
sickest things.
Buffalo, too much snow for the roof to hold.
Oh wow, they don't have it in 2025. Like you can't figure out like
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure
don't. They've got to
material.
have like some big ass buildings. I
You
know
can
it
get
might
like a
not be
heated
Buffalo,
roof or
but
something. I don't know.
dude. You can figure
sick.
something out. It's 2025.
got
We were going
AI.
to the Titanic, man.
We got AI. I mean,
It's
what
not
do you- what do
anymore, but
Ask AI how to do it. Ask Grok.
Yeah, ask Grok.
yes, Rock.
Grok, how do we build a? How do we
I
build?
was
a heated-
watching that Titanic thing. I watched the whole thing today. That was interesting.
I
I
gotta
recommend
finish
Boone. Worth the
Oh,
time. or no?
dude. Yeah, it's 2 hours. I watched it an hour last night, fell asleep, hour today. It's so crazy. The fact like they can do it. Like they went down there and imploded. And they didn't implode because we don't have the technology to do it. They imploded because the guy who was running the company and who did it, he was like, and with all respect, I know he's RIP, but when you watch the documentary, like he was a bad guy. Like he was like he had multiple people throughout years like that worked for him. He went through like 6 head engineers, and every single one was like, "I'm not signing off for people to go down there in this material. I'm not doing it. I'm not." And then he kept firing them, being like, because they were telling him no, and he just would fire them. If someone told him no, he would just be like, "You're fired," and then he would get a
yes man.
yes. And then finally he had a yes man, and they kept going down there. And then I'll just tell a little bit of the story. Sorry, off topic here. We got 2 minutes till Caleb. And then they left. The first engineer told him because they used some type of material. I don't know the material. I can't remember, but they used it. They said, "Do not let the material get in 0-degree weather." Because the material was cracking. Like every time they would go down there, it would crack. So if you got it in 0-degree weather, it would like do the freezing would do something to it and open it up to where more water can get into those mini cracks. And they did it and they left it. And then they tried a bunch of different dives and they weren't able to dive. And then the next major dive that they did after it was in 0-degree weather, it cracked and imploded. Carbon fiber was it? Yeah, dude. They like, and you guys will watch it, dude. They kept doing tests over the years, and they were like, they put these like microphones in there because you can't hear carbon fiber crack unless you have like minuscule like microphones. And they would do it and go down, and there was like video of him going down throughout the years testing it, and you could hear like cracking, like pop, 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 and he's just like, "It's all good, don't worry."
Dude,
and then they have like the graphs showing when the pops are happening, and they're just like. The engineers are like,
it's fine.
this is like it is cracking. Like we have papers showing it's cracking. Like the legit, like the graphs going up and down, like the sound things. And he's like, "This is good. I'm telling you, it's working." Everyone's like, "What is he doing?" And
That's
he did it anyway.
I didn't know all that.
No, that
I
dude
mean-
was psycho though. He was he wanted to build underwater cities and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
He was using the carbon fiber because he thought it was like his whole this whole new initiative. And like because you can go to the Titanic. There was people. I don't know if they do it now, but there was people doing it with the right material that wouldn't
like
crack.
titanium and stuff.
Yeah, and it was just a lot heavier, and it's a lot more money, and it's cheaper for carbon fiber, and it's easier. So he was trying to do it that way to where more people can do it. And it
I'm
was just
sorry, I
like,
ain't going underwater, bro.
no, dude, I'm
submarine.
so far out on that.
I'm good, man.
It's such an interesting thing, dude, that happened because I was so like
Good.
when all that was going on, dude. They didn't know they imploded right away. I don't know if you guys remember. They had I was watching TV for days, and they had the timer on all the news channels of when they run out of air.
And they were already blown up.
Yeah, and we didn't know that, but we all in my mind, I'm sitting there thinking what's going on in that cabin? They have no air. Imagine being stuck in that vessel.
I would just open up the latch.
You can't. It's from the outside. You're latched in from the outside. And they had 5 days worth of air or 6 days worth of air in there. And you're at the bottom of the sea, extremely far down to where no one can come get you. It was just it's in such a
it
they
just imploded. They don't even remember.
Imploded.
You don't even experience you're just gone.
There was
that's the pressure that they were at underwater.
It's crazy. There's a YouTuber that actually he was on the documentary, but I watched his videos a year ago when it happened. But he actually took the trip. He went on the mission before, a couple days before, and the conditions were too bad for him to actually dive. So he filmed everything. You can actually go watch his YouTube video. He filmed everything, and then a couple days later, this happened. But he was just he was crying in it, being if the weather was good, I would have been the one imploded. The only reason he didn't go down was because the weather was bad and they couldn't do the mission. And then a couple days later, the weather was good.
Let's bring in someone we'd send in that summary.
All right, sorry, that was so far off, but that was exciting.
Let's bring in someone we would send in that summary. I think he'd be the perfect guy to do it. Yeah, he hosts Saturdays with Crunch Time.
Here we go, baby.
And we get to have him on as the Tigers. They're just being gritty.
Our Tigers correspondent.
Took a 4-2 lead.
Kleber Torres. I mean, let's just get the big fella on. Caleb, how we doing, my brother?
Gentlemen, it's a great day today. Jeff, thank you for the invite to go on the submarine. I will say I'm not interested. That shit really terrifies me. The ocean and everything, not a big fan of that. I also want to say sorry if you hear any yelling in the background. My family's setting up for a graduation party, and it's an absolute zoo in here. You'd think the president of the United States is visiting our home tomorrow with all the cleaning that's going on. So we got a rambunctious family. And they're at full force right now, and I'm just trying to stay out of the way. So if you hear anything, any yelling, that's what it is. It's a great day today.
Wow.
I imagine Caleb's family. Do you guys remember on Home Alone when with all the families running around, and it's just all of the action going? That's how I imagine your family right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's
for vacation.
It's a big family. It's always loud in here, but today is just a little bit more louder. So just trying to stay out of the way. Let my family do their thing and get everything set up. So I'll help when needed. If they ask me to move a couple chairs and stuff, I'm gonna say yes. But
good dude, man.
Yeah. So it's a crazy household right now.
Good family man.
I mean, Caleb, you're a family man. He's an absolute grinder. You're a Detroit sports fan. And, I want to pick your brain on some things. The Pistons are doing a lot of stuff. The Tigers are on right now. I mean, you got Torres, Baez, and Green all got home runs today.
Yes, sir.
Let me get your Caleb Czarnik mental health check as a Tigers fan. Where's your confidence level kind of thing? Has it risen? Where are you at? Are we we're taking down the fucking Dodgers, or are you a little more skeptical? Where are you at right now?
Dude, it's funny you say that because I was looking at some of my old tweets from last year around this time yesterday, and they weren't very nice. I mean, the difference of where this team was at last year at this point and this year is totally different. I mean, this team's really good, and they have a lot of moves to make. There's obviously some positions of need. I think they need to go out and get a solidified shortstop. Maybe they go get another utility guy that could play the outfield. They definitely need some swing and miss in the bullpen. Maybe another a starter after the Job news, but they're really good. This is a really good baseball team, and my mental health, it's great right now. I mean, they're 20 games above 500. It really doesn't get much better than this right now.
Yeah, see, we've been talking about this. We had Raj on this week, and Raj is pretty fired up. And honestly, I wish I got one of my buddies, Evan. He's at the game right now, so that I think the Tigers. Wait, they have 7 now. What just happened?
I think Riley Green just doubled and cleared the bases. That's big time. I mean, that's another thing too. This was something me and Mike were talking about on Saturdays. That middle of the order when you get in these bases loaded chances and the runners on second and third, your guys in the middle of the order have to step up. And as of right, I mean they haven't. True.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Riley Green's numbers and everything with runners in scoring position and his stats with runners in scoring position with 2 outs, they're not that great. So, I mean, that's a huge hit for Riley.
It is
To give him a 7-2 lead. Yeah.
intentionally.
That's big time. Torque's a guy in the middle of the order. I feel like every time there's runners in scoring position, he's gonna come up clutch. That's a dude that's been just extremely impressive this year.
I can't figure out, Caleb. We were talking about it the other day with Jackson Jobe going down.
Mhm.
Because I had been saying for a couple weeks that this team can win the World Series. Like I legit thought they could, but my caveat the whole time was if Reese Olson and Jackson Jobe were like healthy, and obviously Reese is only a finger, but if you're top, in my opinion, you're top 4 guys, and if you need a bullpen game, whatever, those top 4 guys, if they're healthy, playing good, you can beat the Dodgers, you can beat the Yankees, you can beat any team just based off of that and you're hitting. I'm not going to lie with Jackson Jobe down. I know Scott Harris can make a move. I feel like you have to kind of make a move like the Dodgers did last year, getting Jack Flaherty and go get a starting pitcher. Because I can't confidently say, hey, this team can beat the Dodgers with 3 good pitchers if Reese is back. There's Casey Mize. I don't know how much faith we have in Casey Mize to be able to go out there and get a win, but I don't know. I feel like you're like a starting after that injury. It's like now you're a starting pitcher down to where you need one to go win a World Series. I could be wrong with that, but that's kind of been my thought process with all of this.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it's in the back of Scott Harris's head that, I mean, maybe going to make a move for a starting pitcher would be a nice move going down the stretch, but I think they really like Sawyer Gipson-Long. I think Sawyer Gipson-Long is a really good pitcher, and I think that's the guy that's going to take over that number 5 spot unless Alex Cobb gets fully healthy in his rehab. Honestly, I don't know if you guys have seen any videos of Alex Cobb throwing. Man, he looks all of 35, 36 years old. It looks like a struggle getting into.
Wasn't he not good last year though?
I mean, he was fine. When we signed him for that 1-year, $50 million deal, that's where I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, that's just a contract that shouldn't have been made. But Boone, kind of to your point, this is still a really good rotation, in my opinion. Obviously, you have the best pitcher in baseball in Skubal. Flaherty has thrown really well these past 3 or 4 starts. Reese Olson is nasty. Reese Olson is one of the more underappreciated pitchers in baseball. And you're right, we need to get him healthy. And I like Casey Mize in a big leverage spot. I'd love to see him down the stretch once you get in September and even in October when you trim it to a 3-man, 4-man rotation. I want to see Casey Mize in one of those big leverage situations because I think he'll thrive. He's getting swing and miss with the splitter. The fastball has life on it. His secondary pitches look great. I'm all in on Casey Mize. So, I mean, should we go get another guy? Maybe, just to have more depth. Down the stretch, you need as many arms as you can because, as we know, injuries happen. But as of right now, I love this rotation. I even without Jobe, and it's unfortunate.
Could they win a Super Bowl or a World Series with this rotation?
I think they could. Yeah, I think this rotation's really good. I think this. I mean, it all depends. I mean, really, your X factor right now is Flaherty. Can Flaherty keep throwing like he has been as of late? Because he's had some rough patches this year. Rough, really bad. Fastball, no life on it, just flat. Looks like batting practice. But at Flaherty's best, he's the man.
Have you given out your All-Stars kind of prediction, or what do you think?
Sorta. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna say all of these dudes should be
every
all-stars.
single person.
I voted every
time.
Yeah.
But realistically,
every single dude.
Why did you not vote for pitchers? By the way,
you can't yet.
It didn't let me. It just let me vote for field players.
I think. I mean, that will probably come up soon. That's my guess. But out of the pitchers, I mean, obviously you got Skubal. And I'm throwing Will Vest to vote 1,000%. I'm 100% throwing Will Vest to vote.
I love that.
Let me say this about this guy, Will Vest. AJ Hinch has been, these past couple of years, has been very experimental. And, he hasn't really had a solidified closer these past few years. And Will Vest rose to the occasion, won the spot. He's an absolute fucking dog. And let me say, when you get into the playoffs, man, and even right now, like you see it right now, you throw Panley out in the 8th, throwing 85%, 90% changeups, and then you throw Will Vest in there throwing 98. I mean, that's disgusting. I mean, that's big time stuff right there.
Yeah, I want to just on record, Caleb, just so you know, I'm the only one on this show out of me, Lucas, and Jeff that actually think this Tigers team will win the World Series or can win it. These guys think they can get to the World Series, but they think they lose. They can't beat. Everyone here thinks they can't beat the Dodgers.
I said without a move at the deadline, which you've kind of already alluded to. I think I'm not trying to disrespect what they're doing. I think it's more of when the postseason comes around. I'm not worried as much about the regular season record when it comes to what the Dodgers. Obviously, health is a big factor, but I'm just leaning on the Tigers have a ton of depth. That obviously is important. But it's hard. I mean, the talent, man. You know what I mean? That's where I'm
I agree. You can't overlook like teams like the Dodgers on paper. You can't do that. I mean, they're just so ridiculously good.
Hey, I'm not going to be one of those guys, and I'm not going to name. There's people out there, Rob Parker, who would take the Yankees right now over the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean that was and
so there's that.
Shout out Spenny for sticking up for Scooble too.
Oh, dude,
I mean that was his Scooble Garrett Cole stuff was, or sorry, Scooble Max Fried stuff was bizarre. But I do think I do think the Tigers can win a World Series. I do right now, but I'd feel it just so much more comfortable if you go out and get a right-handed bat at the deadline.
I would say I agree. I think getting a bat in another pitch, someone that whether it's a starting pitcher or in the bullpen, I think just at the end of the day, you saw the Dodgers. You see every contending team do it. It's just you need to add like insurance, and you need to not even just insurance like depth, but more so like you need to get your lineup like it's gonna sound weird, but like thicker. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not. Jeff's getting that little eyes, but you know what I'm saying? Like yes, you have good players in the lineup. You need to add a better player. And I think even if you have the best lineup in baseball and you can go do it, just so you know, like we want to guarantee a World Series. We're not falling short because we didn't go get another guy. We got an injury or something. We want someone. Do it. I think Scott Harris will. It sounded like the other day on the radio. It sounded like he was like, I'm going to. That was the first time Scott Harris. And you know what's crazy, Caleb? Every time Scott Harris has said something, it feels like he's done it. Like he's like, I'm not making moves. Does it? I'm trading guys. Does it? Like I'm not going to spend money. Doesn't spend money. I'm gonna make trades. I'm gonna get guys that help this team out and what we need. He's gonna do it.
And it really helps too when you have guys that we didn't have a ton of expectations for in the minors, just start raking. You know, and it makes some of your top prospects, not Clark, not McGonigal, but a guy like Lorenzo, who we got in the Flaherty trade, he could be dealt because of what Jose Briseño has done in West Michigan. He's been raking. Guys, I wanted to mention this before I got on.
Oh, go ahead.
Kevin McGonigal is and should be the number one prospect in all of baseball. Truly, like 100 guys. He is hitting over 400 this year for West Michigan. And they I think they put up 13 runs in an inning tonight. That means they're going to win and they're going to clinch a playoff spot. So I fully expect McGonigal to be in Double-A Erie tomorrow.
When can you get a timeline on him in Toledo potentially?
He's 20 years old, and Scott Harris doesn't seem like a guy that's going to want to rush anything, you know. And I don't want to either. So I think he can maybe start the year in Toledo next year. But he's the real deal, Kevin McGonigal. He is. I mean, obviously Jordan Lawler for the Diamondbacks, Bubba Chandler for the Pirates. Roman Anthony's going to retire from his pipeline status or whatever. McGonigal should be the number one prospect in baseball. All he does is hit. That's all he does. He hits, steals bases, doesn't strike out. He's a dog. Should be the number one prospect in baseball.
I like, the young guys that they have right now.
Over 400. I mean, I say less. That way, he steals bases. He's batting over 400. I mean, like, what are we doing?
That's the only thing I hate about baseball is you have to wait so long for some of these dudes. And some of these, like right now, like I want to see Max Clark in a Tigers uniform. I know it's going to be a while, but I want to see it. Kevin McConnell. I want to see it, dude.
I mean, there's a Chris Rodriguez. I don't know if you guys. He's the highest, or I guess the highest ranked international prospect the Tigers have ever signed. He's 18 years old, and he is a combination of Alex Rodriguez and Aaron Judge. I mean, this guy.
Are you serious?
I mean, he's an absolute stud.
You serious?
A-Rod and Aaron Judge.
I mean, that's a little bit hyperbole. That's a little bit hyperbole. I get a little bit excited talking about Chris Rodriguez, but if you watch his swing, man, it's a combination of A-Rod and Judge. Maybe not the same tools, but I mean, he has the similar frame, and he's an absolute baller. But to your point, Boone, like you have to wait so long. This dude's 18 years old. Actually, might be even younger. Could be 16 or 17. So we're not going to see him until I'm in a walker. Maybe like it's gonna be forever. But
man, I'm gonna be like 40 years old by the time this guy's playing for the Tigers. That's actually crazy.
I'm willing to wait though. I'm willing to wait.
That's good though. That just means like from all levels, like you know what I mean. That's how the sustained success that you're trying to build. Just making sure at every single age group you have guys coming up, and you can build a team because you got to pay guys, you got to let guys go. It's just you know what I mean. You just
He's
the way it works.
Batting 487 in Puerto Rican ball.
Jeez.
Dude, I mean, he's insane. Wow. I'm telling you, this dude's
50%.
I mean, he's crazy. I mean, he's so good. And obviously, we've only seen a short sample size
right now. That's what he's batting field goal percentages. Who is this?
No. Yeah, I mean, he's like.
Yeah, I mean that's like Steph Curry's 3-point percentage, man.
I mean, that was on the tip of my tongue. But yeah, he's he's a. All right, come on, Jeff. Is he still doing this stuff?
Yeah, no, we all are.
Is he still doing that?
We all did say we weren't going to do it, and we just kept doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect an end to come to that at all.
The show is terrible. Well, I mean, we've done this. We've done it. We've talked.
Let's stop it.
We've talked Titan. We talked fasting earlier. It's a terrible show.
And, you know, I was that Boone. That's actually crazy that you brought up the fasting thing. I didn't see who brought it up. I heard you talk about it. I was thinking about doing some sort of video. I'm going to try to fast for 48 hours and see what happens. I've done it for 24.
You've done. Well, how's it 24 feel? Because that's what I was going to do. That's what I want to try. Dude, I want to do it like every week, once a week.
You feel really crappy for like until about like hour 14, and then you hit this like thing, you get like a high and you feel really good, but then when you eat you feel like crap after.
Well, I was reading some things that said you need to like slowly eat back into it.
You
need to have like electrolytes during it. If you do 48, you got to make sure, Caleb, that you're having some electrolytes, or you're doing it right there now.
I'm raw dogging it. Nothing. No water, nothing.
You might just die.
I mean that's good. I mean, I guess not good content because I wouldn't be able to post it, but it'd be interesting.
And you golf right after.
Oh my gosh! I gotta do mine.
I don't even want to talk about golf, man. I don't even want to talk about it.
You golfed right after you did 24 hours?
Oh no! I did it during the winter. I'm like a bear, hibernation. I kind of just stayed in my room,
hibernating.
Yeah, I just kind of stood in my room and didn't eat anything.
I've definitely gone 24 hours without food, like when I'm sick.
Well, think about it. 24 hours.
You probably haven't.
You're sleeping for 8, so it's really like 16.
Well, I was just like thinking like Sunday, if I do it, it's Father's Day. I'm going to have with my pops a big dinner probably at like 4 or 5 on Sunday.
Don't do it on a weekend.
Well, no, what I was going to do is after Sunday, I eat my dinner, and I was going to do it until Monday afternoon, until Monday night. So like, let's say I'm done eating at 6 or 7 on Monday. I'll be done at 6 on Sunday. I'll be done at 6 on Sunday, and then Monday at 6 o'clock when I get off work, I'm able to eat again.
I think that's a smart move, and I'm interested to see the results.
You won't hit 24.
You don't think I will?
No.
It's tough. Really? He said something up his sleeve. He was waiting to hit some sort of button, Boone, and that was it.
I think I could easily do it because I've been doing this week, dude. I've been doing the intermediate one where you do it at night, and I'd eat dinner at 7 o'clock, an hour before the show, and I don't eat until noon the next day. I just have to go 7 and like the next day, today when I didn't eat till noon, like I was just sitting there. I wasn't that hungry. I could have gone a couple more hours. You're telling me I just have to go 7 more hours after that?
I'm going Klotz to Derek Barnes. You got to show me that you can do this. Okay, you got to prove to me that you're working.
I think I can do it. I don't think it's. I am a little worried on the feeling, but
let's make a bet.
I'll go 7 to 7, or whenever I'm done with dinner because I'm going to my grandma's house for it, and
you're gonna be like hour
Italian.
10. You're gonna be like hour 11 and be like, I just need.
I think the point you're gonna start to struggle, I think, is is when like that noon point, like when you usually eat, you're gonna be like, wow, I'm pretty fucking hungry right now. Like I
And you
want to
have,
eat.
like,
Yeah, and then I just got to push
hours.
till 7. I just got to push till 7. I just can't have any calories, correct?
You know, you fast. Like you don't.
But
Like,
I can't have like coffee, black coffee.
I think you
no,
can
I
have-
actually think black coffee's good during a fast.
Yeah, I'll
Klotz would
probably
know more, I think.
what I'll
But-
do is I'll go to the store, pick up some
Get 'em.
electrolytes.
Let's
I'll
get-
buy a bunch of waters,
Look at this
and
guy.
I'll that's how I'll do it.
Yeah, I mean,
Klotzy, my good friend.
Klotz
Oh,
doesn't know. He doesn't know. He's not a faster. He says he hates
Oh,
it.
I'll
He
never
likes food.
fast.
He
I have
doesn't-
no
he doesn't
desire in
know.
my life to ever fast. I'm already skinny enough, dude. There's no point in me trying to do it to lose weight. Do it all just to be cleansing my mind. I feel like.
No, it cleanses your body. I heard it's good
No,
for your
I-
heart.
It's,
and
it's good for you, but I take good care of myself.
you
don't
do
need to
blood
fast.
clots for sure.
I do.
Oh, Klotz, I had a question for you also.
Nah, hey, stress, and eating are different. When I'm working 70
Jeff
hour
loved
weeks,
that
fucking-
one.
That's
Wicked
still
awesome.
yeah. Klotz
It's gonna
is a unit. Guy just needs to. He stresses. We got Klotz as a unit though. I will
Klotz,
say that.
I had a quick question for you too. Before I head out here. So jujitsu, really awesome. But here's my question, because I've been watching. They've been coming up on my Instagram reels. A lot of like, I don't even know why I'm saying this. This is truly very embarrassing. A bunch of like lightsaber battles, like at like tournaments and stuff. Now, I guess my question here to you, Klotz, is will you ever implement any sort of weapon into your arsenal?
Meaning as a
Like
light
fencing?
Like you comment, like you
He
like
said, "Will you
can-
ever bring a
you can
lightsaber
combine,
into
like, you can-
jujitsu?"
you can combine your jujitsu with maybe a sword or some sort of knife or something.
would
I'll let you
nunchucks
ponder on
count?
that.
Would nunchucks count?
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
like-
I would go for some nunchucks, man. I think nunchucks would be the way to go.
Yeah, dude.
I'm gonna be honest. That was the last thing I thought you were gonna say.
That was out of my fucking
lightsabers.
field.
I don't know. You're like, this is gonna be embarrassing. I thought you were gonna say just something like anything, food or so. I don't know. You're just people fighting with lightsabers.
Yeah, no, I mean, I mean, my little brother, he's I think 8 or 9. He's in a big Star Wars stage right now, so I think my phone's listening to me talk to him about Star Wars. So
Have
they're
you
giving
clicked
me a
on the?
bunch
Have
of,
you clicked on any of the videos?
a few. I've checked out a few.
That's why
accounts.
they're never going away
Dude,
now, dude.
it's kind of
That's fine, dude. They're pretty
As soon
awesome.
as you click, it's over. Someone on our Twitter page, I know all of us have the login. Someone keeps clicking on this stuff that's going on. We don't want to talk about it. It's political, but over in overseas, and
Oh, that's gotta
every
be me, Boone.
you got to go to your account and do it, because every
Sometimes
single
it gets
post
blocked.
right
I don't know
now,
why. I have like a
You gotta go to
account
your
where it's, like,
settings.
sensitive material.
yeah, you got to go to your settings, turn it off. Every single, I swear, every tweet on Crunch Time right now on our page is only the
irate.
bomb stuff going on and
Yeah.
war. That's it. There's nothing. I can't find sports on our.
I'm gonna
on
be
our
honest.
thing. You guys got to go on your personal and do it, or
I'm checking out some of that stuff. Dude.
we're switching passwords.
Crunch Time
We're
account?
switching passwords if it keeps happening.
I'm
Because
just gonna say it's not me. You know,
that's why you got your at Jeff Iafrate at Klotz.
oh, you don't want to see mine. There's a
Heck,
lot,
You guys got to use your personals for that, because that is just unbelievable.
yeah. Hey, but Caleb, can I ask you this?
Sure.
When will Kevin Durant be a Piston?
That's a good question, and a question I've pondered for the past couple days. I think. Well, the report is he's getting traded next week.
Did you see?
I
did you
heard
guys-
within 7
so,
days. I heard it could be 48 hours.
I already
Shams.
voiced my opinion on this, Caleb. I said I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it makes sense. I just don't. So-
Okay. I don't think
response.
it's going to happen, but I think it makes sense depending on what we would have to give up. Because if it's like a dump, if the Suns are just kind of trying to match a salary, they pay Booker, he's their franchise, kind of restart things a little bit, and we don't have to give up, a shit ton. I'm in.
Can I offer a
But-
trade?
Yes.
Tobias Harris,
Mm-hmm.
Fettuccine Alfredo Fontecchio,
Mm-hmm.
3 first-round picks.
You do that trade for
Dude,
Durant.
that is the
Okay.
guys. That trade is.
I saw
I've
that
seen
on
that,
Twitter.
but-
I
no,
saw
but
that
I
on
was
Twitter.
You know what
that
it'll
trade
probably
float.
be? It'll probably be like Ivy, Tobias, and like 4 firsts. That's probably what it would
But I
be.
think
Like, it's Kevin Durant, bro. Mikal Bridges went for like
Yeah,
5.
but again, like Caleb said, if it's a dump where they're like, we just need something.
I
Yeah,
think if you
guess.
throw Holland in there, Boone, it's a little more realistic. I think.
Kevin
if you
Holland?
go, if you
Again,
go,
Ron Holland, that was a joke.
Yeah,
Hopefully it
Kevin
wasn't like that.
so if you
Shout
go
out,
Simone, Ron Holland, Tobias, 3 firsts, I think that could get you Durant.
Would you do that?
And I don't
Yeah.
think the NBL would like Fontecchio. So I don't even know why he's even in the conversation.
I mean,
Who would
Yeah, he's no good. He's no good. Simone Fontecchio is no good. I mean, I'm hoping they got to find a way. He's not going to play on this basketball team next year. They got to find a way to
He might not play basketball on a team next year. I mean, the dude
Think
stinks.
it's that bad? You don't think the Hornets
what-
got a spot?
He could.
No,
He's
no.
a Charlotte Hornet. He's a
This-
Charlotte Hornet.
This is where I'm coming from with the Klotzy, because I watched him when he was on the
Sacramento
Jazz.
Kings?
He was I caught him a little bit on the Jazz. He was a fine player, 3-point shooter. Liked it. They traded for him. He played pretty well as a Piston. The guy forgot how to play basketball the last year. So I don't know whether that returns or not.
Okay.
He
I'll give you
forgot
this.
How to play.
No,
It was
no,
like
no.
the Men in Black thing. Like
It was a different
God.
Pistons team, and he didn't fit, and he didn't know what to do. I think he
But
can
his
still
skill
play.
set they value. He shoots the ball.
Yeah, but I just don't think he
Anything.
meshed well at the end of the day. Like, it happens with guys. I think he could still play in the league. If he's on a specific team where he meshes well, then yeah.
Yeah, the Shanghai
But
Sharks.
he's
That's
no,
what
I
he's
want to do
playing
that to him,
ball.
but he could still play. We've seen him play. Let's have a little
You're ready to learn
respect.
Chinese. That's what I would say to Simone.
All right, let's have a respect for our culture, Jeff.
Okay, I'm kidding. That's fucked up. But yeah, Kevin Durant's not happening, dude. He's 37. He gets injured 40 games a year. If you're going to get Kate a running mate, I don't want a guy that's a running mate that, number one, is on an expiring deal, so he has to love where he's going anyway. And number two, he's probably going to retire in 2 years. So
He's going to end up in New York or Minnesota.
Yeah, you're probably going to have to trade away all your depth to get him anyway. And then he comes, you get 2 years of disappointment. He misses half the season, then he's gone, and you don't have any young assets. Could I interest you?
What you could win.
Yeah, of course.
You could win with him.
Yeah,
But what if he doesn't? Like Jeff said, like what if he doesn't play?
he's going to miss. He's probably going to miss 30 games a year.
What if he does play?
Then you're
What if-
there.
You're winning.
What if my grandma had wheels? She would be a bike. You know,
That's just I
I don't know. If
That's
I would
the-
think that, but you
I
get
think
my
you did that wrong. Yeah, I think
you
did
get
that
my
wrong.
point. All right, there's a lot of what ifs. All right, what if Ivy looks like Dwayne Wade this year? Okay, how about that? Can we do?
Well,
the
there's
what if?
what ifs in every situation.
I mean, what is going on here? Where did this go?
Let's
What?
throw up that one.
What if my mom was a bike?
Oh,
Yeah. All right, my grandma. You got it right.
can we? Hey, host, can we hit our top fives before the show's done?
Oh, great. It's
Yeah, I mean, I can host the show if you want. Don't worry. Caleb, hey, appreciate you tuning in, brother, or coming in on the show. You know we love you, bro.
Gentlemen, it's always a pleasure.
Anytime,
All right,
Caleb, you're always
Are
welcome.
you on
up,
tomorrow
brother?
morning? Or you guys
Grad
No,
party.
grab
He's
party?
got
Okay,
grad
that's
party.
fair.
live
Next
next
Saturday, catch the boy.
There
Next
you go.
Saturday.
I'll see you guys later. Everybody
See you,
have a
buddy.
good night.
Enjoy that grad party.
Go
Yes,
Pacers.
peace and love.
There you go. Caleb Czarnik, the absolute legend. Light
What a-
Digger
what
a
enthusiast.
dude.
Yeah, just an
Peace and
absolute,
love.
just an absolute dog, man. Yeah, we got our top 5 favorite sports moments. All right.
Yeah.
So, and these are again subjective. These aren't like it's personal. So please drop your top 5 personal favorite sports moments. I'm not going to hate you if you have random stuff. I got one on here that probably all of you are going to hate, but it's the reality of the list. All right. Should I start, or do any of you want to
I mean,
start?
I could go first.
All
I'll
right.
go first. I
Go
never
ahead,
go
Boone.
first. I mean, I'll just knock mine out. It's personal, so there's probably not going to be any argument. It's just a fun
Yeah,
list.
I don't. Who cares? All right,
Um,
Boone, talk to
I'll
me.
start from the. I'll start from the bottom up. I did 2 honorable mentions because I wanted to throw them in there, but the other ones were just so personal. Do you know what I mean, boys? I had to have all these 5. My honorable mentions: Kobe's last game. I don't know if you boys remember that. I think he put 60 plus up. I remember I was in my freshman year in my dorm room. I was watching it. It was most memorable moment of my life. One of the most memorable moments of my life. That was Kobe was like my the reason I hoop, right? One of the reasons, but that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods winning the Masters in 2019. That was another moment where it was like, oh my gosh, where were you? That's my honorable mentions. 5, 2004 Detroit Pistons winning the championship, boys. I was 7 years old. I was telling Jeff this earlier. The reason I have it so low, people are like, well, why do you have these championships 4 and 5? Reasons I do is because I was younger. I remember the time. I remember it all happening and my family and everything, but it's not as knowledgeable as it is some of these most recent ones. So I have the Pistons there, and as well with the Pistons one, I probably actually could have had them 4 instead of 5 because that 04 team, that was what got me into sports, to be honest. Like Rip, I got the next year, I got a Rip jersey for Christmas. Like I went to a game in 04, 03, 04 and got a Ben Wallace afro. Like it was just like, that was like life changing. That team was for me, in like a massive way. Like that got me into doing what I'm doing today. Wings in 08 winning the Stanley Cup. I remember kind of that whole run and everything. I was one of the first, like outside of the 04, like the ones where you can really remember like, oh, this is Detroit's winning another championship, boys. Here we go. Third one, I'll go quicker here too, boys. I know we don't have a lot of time. Third, NFC championship appearance. Not the appearance. I want to make it clear. Yes, the appearance.
The first 3 quarters.
No. Okay, I might have messed this up. So my 1 and 3 are the exact same one, actually. Because I was going to say going to the NFC Championship. Yeah, because the first playoff game, that was a wild card game.
Yeah, it was the Rams. And
those are
okay.
separate.
So the third one is not the appearance. My bad. The third one is the game where we beat the Bucks to go to the NFC Championship.
Okay.
That is that moment of being like, we are going to the NFC Championship. Like this is, you guys remember Hutch like crying on the field? Like everyone was just so emotional. Like that was a moment where like you just looked around and you're like, it felt like we were going to the Super Bowl. Like it was just like, is this actually happening right now? Like, did this team really just go to the NFC Championship game? And like Ryan put in there, like the Derek Barnes interception. Like I remember the clips that we have when we were at Woodward doing the watch parties, the Pit One picture. Like just that whole moment being there was just like with the boys. Like this is one of the greatest moments of my life. Number 2, Michigan National Championship game. That was Klotz. We were talking about it before. I won't even argue with your list, my list. We'll have fun with this. That was one of the best moments of my life when it comes to sports. Like we were with Flannel, shout out Nick, all of the boys there. I think Kool-Aid was all there, just enjoying it. Like your whole life, you're sitting there waiting to win a national championship. Like, and the thing with Michigan for me, my whole family since I've been a kid, grandpa, uncles, all of them, all passed away. They all talked about 97, all these years, and you're sitting there and you're like, man, like you wish your family could be there to watch this. Like this, that was one of those moments for me. And then to be able to have the champagne out, the video, I don't know if you guys remember the video with the cigar with Flannel and those boys. Like that was just, to me, that night was just like, that was one of the best nights of my life in general. I put that up there. It's national championship number 2. Number 3 was Khalifa concert. Like greatest nights of my life. Number 1, Detroit Lions playoff win. I feel like this could be everyone's number 1, to be honest, if you're a Detroit sports fan in general. Like that day beating the Rams, Matthew Stafford, that was like one of the more like the NFC North winning that, but like winning a playoff game felt like one of the more like emotional, like this is crazy. This has been in the works forever. Like we have family that are in their 30s that never experienced it. And we're all sitting here like, oh my gosh. So those are my 5 boys. Sorry, I went pretty long on that.
I like it, Boone. Creative, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you.
As, order
those top 2, man. Those are some of the top 2 moments of my life.
Those are great moments.
Michigan Natty, dude. I go back to that now. I watch that video all the time, boys. I go back and watch it. Oh, dude. National championship. Oh my gosh. That was unbelievable.
Klotzy, talk to me, Klotzy.
All right, boys. Gonna be honest. There's not as many Detroit things up here because I'll be very real about it. Growing up, the only like true fan that I was of Detroit sports was a Lions fan. And then as like I've gotten older, I became more Detroit heavy, but I was very Ohio growing up because Ohio, they had some good teams going on. So number 5, though, has nothing to do with either of those. It has Eli Manning beating the Patriots either time. Because I'll tell you, being a Lions fan, Playoff time growing up, there was not shit to root for. Lions were, if they were in the playoffs, they're getting bounced in the wild card, and you were just watching the NFL happen. And I did not have a favorite team. I just always rooted against who was going up against the New England Patriots. And there was just something about those Giants teams with Eli, Mario Manningham, when they had Victor Cruz, Ahmad Bradshaw, Justin Tuck. They were just a gritty squad, boys. And I loved them. And they were going up against the Patriots, and every time they were counted out, but they were able to embarrass the best quarterback of all time and arguably the best head coach of all time on the biggest stage. And I just found it very ironic. But every time, my best friend growing up was just some slappy for the Patriots. And nothing warmed my heart more than watching Coughlin and Eli Manning just go out there and break up what could have been one of the best repeats and back-to-backs in all time. They broke up a 17-0 season when they had Randy Moss back when they had the helmet catch. But I just think those games, some of the best Super Bowls ever, and the team that I was rooting for won, so I was happy for them. Love the Giants Super Bowls. Lions advancing to the NFC Championship game. The Buccaneers game, Derek Barnes walking it off with that pick. Again, we haven't seen much Lions success as Lions fans in the playoffs. So seeing them get a big win in a team that they should have beaten, but it was close, came down the wire, and somehow the defense comes up to seal that game. Great swing of emotions going to the NFC Championship game the week after. We know what happens, but that game, great feeling to see come through with the game sealer to go to that game. And then number 3, what an arc I've had with LeBron. Growing up, favorite player, loved him. Not so much anymore. But when I loved them, man, that 3-1 hit like crack. Arguably, again, the best team in NBA history, you could say, during that time, that little spurt that they had in the Golden State Warriors. A true dynasty, a super team, and they were counted out. And J.R. Smith, Iman Shumpert put that team on their back, and they went to work. Matthew Dellavedova, they went to work. And they were able to close it out.
Yeah, this is
carry
unbelievable,
LeBron
bro.
that finals win. But again,
Number 2.
Just in
I
my
don't
He
wanna
had
hear
every
this.
category in that finals. By the way.
yeah, no, LeBron was insane.
Every
That was, in my opinion, the best NBA finals that I've ever watched. And at the time, I was a Cavs fan. And I just think, because I was
At the
I was
time,
born in
we
02.
switch it. I didn't know. This is all news to me.
I was born in 02. I never watched the Pistons.
No, I didn't know you were a Cavs fan.
I
Oh
talk
yeah,
about it all the time.
yeah. That's why I give him shit, because he was a LeBron fan at one point.
And then when he left again, I was like, "We're done. I'm done with this.
So,
You're not humping and dumping me twice."
So he was just a Lions fan for a while. Like,
so you're not a Pistons fan.
I am now. But I've always said that. Like, I've always been very vocal about that. Like, I've always liked the Pistons growing up. I've never been like Cavs over Pistons. Like, I've always liked the Pistons. But like, what the fuck did I have to like about the Pistons? Again, 04, I was 2. Like growing up, it was like Greg Monroe,
trust me, I
Van
get it.
Gunn. Like,
I understand.
I just grew up. I lived in Ohio, bro. Everywhere you went, there was a LeBron post, LeBron post, LeBron post. You turn on the TV, it's LeBron. He's the Ohio guy. Like, if you grew up in Ohio and you weren't a LeBron fan,
I get it. Yeah.
That's weird behavior.
All right, you go on, Klotzy, because I want to get.
And then the playoff win against the Rams. I don't have this as the number 1 because it's not a championship win. As far as like, oh, you're deep in the playoffs, you're going to go host that trophy. But that win against Stafford, Sean McVay, it hit like crack again. Like, that's one of those things where you could just finally feel like, wow, this is what it's like to win a playoff game. Not an NFC championship game or anything like that, but win a playoff game. I've never got to experience that. It was a great feeling. Seeing Stafford, his kids, Kelly, get booed. That felt great, didn't it? That's it. That just felt great to be able to be like, you know what, we've came a long way. Matthew Stafford is now coming into Ford Field for a playoff game, and he's getting booed. I was not the biggest Stafford fan while he was at Detroit. Respected his game. Wasn't the biggest fan, so that was bittersweet for me. But the number 1, fellas, the number 1, numero uno of my sports fandom comes when back in 2014, when the Ohio State Buckeyes with Cardell Jones dethroned Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide at their peak. Now, this wasn't the national championship game, but this would be like, okay, the Lions, because the Ohio State Buckeyes, they were the 4 seed, the lowest seed. Let's say the Lions, lowest seed, lose Jared Goff. Here comes Hendon Hooker. You're like, no fucking shot. No shot. You're going up against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, the best team in the country, in the nation. You fucking curb stomp them. Ezekiel Elliott's going for 70, 80 yards. Then you got to tell me that you're not winning the national championship game as an Ohio State fan. Watching them beat the team with Derrick Henry, TJ Yeldon, Amari Cooper. That was one of the more loaded Bama teams. That's like peak Bama, peak Saban. Like Nick Saban was always good at Bama. But you're talking about in the early 2010s, late 2010s, and then I can't even fucking talk. But from 2008 to 2014, that's like peak Bama. And to see Alabama go in there with Cardell Jones, uncorking a 70-yard bomb, a 60-yard bomb, the Zeke streak. That game was more exciting and more exhilarating than the national championship game because you knew after that moment that they were winning the Natty. If you had Cardell playing like that, Chip Kelly and Marcus Mariota were going to be a breeze. So that was the first real championship game as a fan that I've watched. Championship run, I should say. But that was just a great feeling. The Ohio State Buckeyes beating those Crimson Tide. They were counted out.
Ezekiel Elliott.
The Zeke streak. Evan Turner. Not Evan Turner, fucking Evan Thomas.
Evan Turner. Shout out Evan Turner. Actually.
Another Ohio State Buckeye legend.
All right, well, to no one's surprise, I number 5. This is where you failed. It's LeBron James 3-1 comeback against the Warriors. That's how I phrased it. And as a sports moment, this is one of the greatest sports. It's honestly one of the greatest NBA moments of all time. Like it's never been done. So it obviously has to be for me. I got to watch it. I was 17 at the time, 16 at the time. So that was more of my, love sports. I'm able to actually digest sports. It's not like the 04 Pistons, which I don't have on this list. I was 4 years old, guys. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, it was a favorite sports moment. I was 4 years old. I don't even think I was shitting in a toilet yet. So I can't sit here and be like, oh yeah, the good old days of watching the Pistons. I was 4 years old, man. So I'm not going to lie to you guys here. Now I was old enough. I was 8 to experience the Red Wings beating the Penguins in 6. I do remember that. My family went to Red Wings games. I actually was able to remember things at that time. So I have the Stanley Cup win on here. At number 3, it's the NFC Championship appearance. It's when they beat the Bucks, and they were made an NFC Championship. So I think that has to be up there, a game away from the Super Bowl for the Lions because of how historic it was, how it doesn't happen. And the shock factor, is this real life? I've been getting to experience that with my dad. It was awesome. Number 2, Detroit Pistons drafted Cade Cunningham. That was one of the greatest franchise players of all time for the organization. So at that moment when they got the number 1 overall pick, I was so ecstatic. It was unbelievable. I was so excited because we knew what kind of player Cade was. So as a moment, I knew when they got Cade, I knew this team was going to be good for the next decade plus. I'm like, thank gosh, we have a star player for over a decade. So longevity wise, loved it. It was amazing.
I can't wait to see you on draft night, Daddy.
Legendary moment. And then number 1, it's the playoff win, man. I mean, I never got to see a playoff win. I've seen playoff appearances by the Lions, and they fall short for a multitude of reasons. Finally getting to see it against Matthew Stafford, that's got to be number 1 for at least people that got to see the trash for so long. So this is my list. But yes, Klotz, I do have the 3-1 comeback on this list as well. So
respect it.
I get it. Yeah. I think Kobe's last game's up there too. I think that's definitely a moment just across sports, like a legendary moment. Honestly. So that's
probably better than LeBron's 3-1 comeback, but it's cool.
Definitely not.
No way, no how.
Definitely not. Just wait till LeBron's
Kobe on for 81 could have been.
It's just crazy the fact that Jeff's like number 2 sports moment in his life is the NBA draft lottery. Like that's
no. Well, lottery /
no, it's technically it's the lottery because you knew they were going to go Cade. So when you got the 1 pick, you're like, oh, we're getting Cade Cunningham. Like it's just crazy. Like the world, like in Detroit, we were winning championships to where you're a 2002 baby, 2001, whatever it is, 2000.
Yeah,
it's just like you're favorite moment outside of a Lions playoff win is the
because
NBA draft lottery. Like that is just so like.
Well, I told you this when I started really watching basketball, because I played basketball, but I wasn't watching basketball. And so I was probably 7, 8. That's when I really started watching sports. At that time, the run was ending. I'm getting into this mediocrity stage of the Pistons. I was still a Pistons fan through and through.
It's so
but
crazy to think like the generations like that. Like that's nuts, dude.
It's and then I got through the, the highlight was really through the at the time making the playoffs with Stan Van Gundy. That was like my we're
Blake
back.
Griffin. Like that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Just a nuts.
Wow.
So,
but yeah, we'll get out of here. Appreciate you all, man. Great week this week. You guys are the best. Continue to support. Get your
Happy Father's Day as well to all the fathers, my pops, my stepdad, everyone. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. All the fathers in the chat, man.
Shout out to them.
Kids need you.
Grandpas.
They need their fathers. So keep doing your thing. We will catch you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend.
Love you guys. Happy Father's Day.